Just getting everything set up here on this side, and we will get going. Just getting the Twitter Spaces all taken care of. What's going on, everybody? Jonah here with you. We are just getting underway here at Minute Maid Park. Just made it under the gun, so glad I got all my pregame adjustments here. So Marcus Semien will lead off against JP France, and the first pitch is in for a strike. It is the Lone Star Series in between the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Yesterday's game was an absolute doozy on that side as Marcus Semien will put this one in shallow center field. Chas McCormick will run it down, and now Kyle Tucker will get in his way and call him off. So McCormick was all the way in the deep side. You're thinking about the old hill that used to be in the Minute Maid, so they kind of moved that down. That's where Chas McCormick was kind of moving to before Kyle Tucker was able to make that catch. So 2 pitches, 1 out. And this will bring up Travis Jankowski. Nathaniel Lowe is going to be next. He's batting third. We'll get to the rest of the lineups as we go across. So fastball. This is blistered to left field. This is near the Crawford boxes, but this will be picked up by Corey Julks. So 3 pitches and 2 outs. And that's how France gets his day underway here. So for JP France and the Houston Astros, his numbers don't sound too bad on that side. 5-3 record, 3.13 ERA, 124 WHIP, 55 strikeouts for the 28-year-old. He's been pretty good in his rookie season. Again, you need that 5 years term of service before you actually go get paid. So that's why they keep everybody down in the minors on that side. That's a perfect dot in the left side of the box, and Nathaniel Lowe will spit on it and take it for a strike nonetheless. 4 pitches into his day, JP's already got 2 outs. And this is a fastball. Jams him, jumps up in the air. France, easy toss over to first Abreu, and 3 up, 3 down. It's going to bring up the Houston order in the bottom of the first when we come back. So I think we're going to have a pitching, not change, but it's going to be different from what was already talked about in the MLB daily lineups for RotoWire. It was Cody Bradford. I don't think it's going to be Cody Bradford. So we'll have to make sure to get that all squared away on that side. We'll see if they show it on the ESPN side of the box. So it's going to be Yuri Rodriguez. I'll make sure I mark that one in. So Yuri Rodriguez will be the starter. Eleven strikeouts. See if I get any numbers on Yuri here on this side. He's pitched in 11 games. It's been maybe an opener here before we get to Bradford. That is my belief, at least. So this is even an update as far as everything else is concerned. As we're in the bottom of the first, it's going to be Yuri Rodriguez, who will be the maybe opener, maybe starter here, but this one's going to be in the bottom of the first for the Texas Rangers in the Lone Star Series. It'll be Mauricio Dubon, Jeremy Pena, and Kyle Tucker. If everything is still set that way, Rodriguez features a fastball, slider, 2-seam, and changeup. As Dubon will take the changeup up high near the face. It'll be 1-0 near the right side of the box. We're just underway really here in Minute Maid Park. Jonah here with you. So solo call here today on the YouTube side and Twitter Spaces. So thank you for sticking in on this side. And a really good slider on the left side of the black. Make it 1-1 against Mauricio Dubon. So Jeremy Pena is still in the lineup, but Dubon's kind of taken his place as far as the top of the order. 268, 5 home runs, 27 RBI, 10 walks, 48 strikeouts for the 29-year-old. I can't really say he's been a journeyman. Most of the time he's been with the Houston Astros, but his numbers have been really good. Well, they're still waiting on Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve. So Dubon will slam this one directly back. Make it 2-2 now against Mauricio. Again, you still have Jeremy Pena, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Abreu, and Chas McCormick fresh off a 6 RBI game in the 10-9 victory just yesterday. Astros only a few games back of the Texas Rangers, who have been pretty much in first place in the AL West. But for everything that we talked about with Houston, it'd be very hard pressed, even with as good as Texas has been, not to think that Houston still couldn't track them down and make a World Series push, not just a playoff push. Slider way out of the zone, and Jonah Heim will reach for it, but this will go back into the wall, and Pena will be nice enough to pick this up on the on-deck circle, make it a full count against Mauricio. As Dusty Baker looks on, he's chewing on that toothpick. He's finally got a World Series manager title to his name, but he's got him as a player. And this is a fastball directly in the happy zone, but this will be right here for Adolis. And he makes the catch in the right field side and 1 up, 1 down. 7 pitches into Yuri Rodriguez's day. It'll be Jankowski, Taveras, and Garcia, left, center, right. For the Rangers defense, Josh Jung, Esequiel Duran, Marcus Semien, Nathaniel Lowe from third to first, and Jonah Heim will be back doing the catching for Rodriguez. So I have the Bally Sports West feed. Again, the Wednesday game will be 7 p.m. I think that's going to be a getaway day game, and it'll be a 3-game series between these. So it's ironically the first series of the year between these two teams. And we are in late July. This is July 25th, but less than a week away from the All-Star break. So Jeremy Pena gets a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle of the zone. He's still late on it. He's hitting 232. So you're talking about Pena's numbers, 10 home runs, 34 RBI. He's got 82 strikeouts on that side of it. His average about 40 points down from last year at least. It's a little bit more of a sophomore slump. And that was kind of the same narrative that we used on Julio Rodriguez yesterday for the Seattle Mariners on that side. Jeremy Pena is kind of facing some of those same things as pitchers start to figure you out, make adjustments. You got to make those right back. 1-2 pitch coming here for Jeremy Pena. Rodriguez will get the sign from Jonah Heim. They agree on it. Fastball blew him away at 99. Good velocity there for Yuri. And 2 up, 2 down. And we will see if this first inning will be fruitful at all for both of these teams, because it was runs aplenty yesterday. With the solo call for myself, maybe I wouldn't mind not having as much run call to be able to save the pipes in between these two. I was a little worried. But at least, I was sure to check the weather as far as domes and everything else like that, even on the side of it, just in case where they're playing, what the weather's like, because I don't want to get stuck in the rain delay. Check swing. We fouled off by King Tuck. How about this for Tucker? 303 average, 49 walks drums, 17 home runs, and 68 RBI. He is having a fantastic year. He's in his arbitration next 2 years before he actually really gets paid. He keeps these numbers up. I think the 26-year-old. I have it listed as a superstar, but what do you think on that side? He is every bit as important as the names that have been there for yesteryear, like Jose Altuve for the Astros. Tucker is right there. He's an MVP candidate. 1-1 on the fastball. They're going to check to see if he offered at it. 98 miles an hour. Make it 1-2. They said Tucker did go. So if Tucker would reach, it'll be Alex Bregman. He'll go next. It's been a little bit of adjustment here for Dusty Baker in this lineup, even though it was 10-9 victory just last night. He moved it all around here just in case it anticipated who's going to start. So Rodriguez set to deliver pitch 15, and this is up in the hands. This will be just shy of the warning track in left field, and make the catch just Travis Jankowski. It's 3 up, 3 down. Both sides of the first will go to the second, scoreless. As we go across and get through a little bit later, I'll give you some MLB standings, some scores, everything else mixed in there just to make sure that we are all caught up. Again, on this side locally here, where I'm broadcasting from Michigan, the Valley Sports Detroit feed and everything else is subject on that side. Since I live in the area, I can't stream any other part of the Angels and the Tigers. I thought about maybe doing Eduardo Rodriguez's possible last start for the Tigers before the trade deadline, but they've been having so much technical difficulties. I was going to stick with the Lone Star Series nonetheless. The Mets are already up 4-0 on the Yankees, 4 runs on 5 hits. So Justin Verlander doing his job was still the Aaron Judge-less Yankees. They're in last place in the AL East. They're 5 games over 500. That would still be first in the AL Central. But we will get you more scores as we go across. Most games are underway. We have a late one at 9:40 between the Cardinals and D-backs. Same thing for the Pirates and Pods. 9:45 between the Athletics and the Giants. And then the late game on ESPN Plus will be the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. That was a wild one in 12 innings just the other day with the Blue Jays won. So JP France will deliver a strike near the top right of the box, and Adolis Garcia is back in the lineup here for the Texas Rangers. He couldn't really grip a bat with the hand. He's kind of shaking that out right now. He takes the next pitch up high at the top of the box. It'll be the 7th pitch for France that has been delivered. So Garcia is another one of those all-stars for Bruce Bochy's squad. If you want to count them out, again, Corey Seager is going to miss a couple of weeks, but he would be one of those all-stars. 5 all-stars for the Texas Rangers, not including Nathan Eovaldi, who is not pitching tonight. It's been loaded. They've been leading alongside with the Tampa Bay Rays. Baltimore Orioles have been excellent as long in the AL as well. Not to mention Houston kind of keeping that low profile because all the other teams, but you think that he would like that slider way out of the zone and swell the count to 2-2 for Adolis. He's definitely someone that can pop the ball out of the ballpark. Adolis Garcia, 260, 24 bombs, 80 RBI, plays excellent defense. He'll serve this one into right field, and Tucker will play this off the bounce. It's a solid single, so welcome back, Adolis Garcia. It's the first base runner of the game for either team, top of the second, as Texas will bring up the outstanding rookie, Josh Jung, in the middle of the order. So for Josh Jung, again, 25 years of age. So tell me how this works. He bats 275, which is excellent, but he's got 122 strikeouts, yet still bats 275. And you would think with the discipline and the strike zone as he goes along, again, he was brought up a little bit late. It kind of sounds like Aaron Judge, 25-side-year-old for Josh Jung. But you think as he gains more discipline in the strike zone at the 122 strikeouts right now, that would go down, and it's already 275 average, might even shoot up for as good as he's been, and even hit more home runs on that side. So 0-2, 2 sliders right on the black on the identical side of the left side of the box. At the stomach height, make it 0-2. Again, Josh Jung on this side, and only a rookie, but 61 RBI as well. Definitely one of the better hitters in baseball. Fastball up near his face. I'll back off on that one, make it 1-2. JP France, again, kind of a rookie here on the other side for the Houston Astros. He is rocking the aviator sunglasses split. Maybe he's got those Medline lenses to get that glare out of his eyes. Whatever it is, it's looking really good right now. 3 seconds left to go on the pitch clock, and a slider offered out by Jung. And again, we talk about his strikeouts for a reason. I'll make it 123 on the season. This will bring up the outstanding catcher, Jonah Heim. He's a switch bat, 279, 14 bombs, 70 RBI for Jonah Heim. 48 runs scored, 27 walks, and 61 strikeouts. We knew over the last several years that he'd be an outstanding defender. Would he bring the bat together? The answer has been a resounding yes. So JP France taking his sweet time. He delivers a 94-mile-an-hour two-seamer right down the middle. Splits the plate, and Jonah Heim is having a confab on the mound with the ump, and Martin Maldonado, who's doing the catching for the Houston Astros behind the plate. It's catcher and catcher. Probably having a confab. 0-1 pitch is France. Rocks that right foot, takes the slider way out. Maldonado will toss it back to make it 1-1 for Jonah Heim. So for Jonah, as we talk about the 28-year-old, he's definitely been breaking out, power all over the place, 27 walks as well. So he sees the ball well. You imagine the catchers would do that on that side. Toss over to first just to check on Adolis Garcia. Got to make sure you don't tap that hand, but he's wearing those big glove gloves that most do nowadays just to make sure you don't jam it in on the bases. That's why they made the bases bigger on that side. Just trying to get more steals and more chances to get over that 90 feet, make it more exciting. Also with the pitch clock this year. So that's the first disengagement. You only get 2 per batter. And JP now. Fastball way in on the left foot of Jonah Heim. It's now 2-1. Taking a look at Yuri Rodriguez on this side, talking with Maddox and the pitching coach and everything else here for Texas. They had a pretty good first inning. We'll see how long he goes today for the lead. 2-1 with 3 seconds to go on the pitch clock here. That's France going to bleed all these ones down, it seems like, make it 3-1. So Jonah Heim, if he wants to, he can get a little nasty here on this hitting count. Or he can wait for Esequiel Duran to do some damage. And again, it's Texas lineup, so you could throw any of these guys out there 1 through 9, and they can definitely produce. So France, see what he'll do here on the 3-1. It's a fastball. Heim was early out in front of it near the top of the box. And we'll do it again at full count. So it was pretty cool yesterday to work the baseball game with Alec Navo. We'll get a chance to do more of that next week. I will be back on the Monday, Tuesday side again early in the week. I'll be away for both of these weekends. But on that side, we'll get some more baseball games in. Jonah Heim. This is a tailor-made double play if they can get this over. And Jonah Heim, he just admitted defeat there. He took the last 7-8 strides and kind of coasted that way. And France gets the double play. We go to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless.
Returning F-150 XLT AC Plan Lease lease an F-150 for $479 a month for 36 months with 0 cash due at signing.
Come on, book a flight. Stay 4 nights. Meet the baby. Make the baby cry. Give the baby back.
We're going to be getting to the bottom of the second when we resume here for a commercial break. It'll be Bregman, Abreu, and McCormick due up next for Dusty Baker's squad versus scoreless. Going to be heading into the bottom of the second.
You want to be like the greats? First, believe you are. Greatness requires grit, not like that. Like this. The greats aren't afraid to fail. They're fueled by it. Trophies require greatness, but greatness doesn't require trophies. Because greatness isn't about what you've done. It's about what you do next. Oh, looks like first big league game for Junior. They could get a ball. Scoreless game as we go to the second of the MLB ballpark. We'll complete your next visit to Globe Life Field, where you can buy managed game tickets, redeem offers, access download the MLB ballpark app today. Great to see Rangers fans making the trip.
So it shouldn't be a long trip here from Texas to Houston in the Lone Star Series. Jonah here back with you. Your Rodriguez still out there. Again, for the MLB Roto Rider lineups, they have Bradford as the primary on this side. So maybe Rodriguez only goes 2-3 innings max, but he looked good on that first. It's been his 17th pitch. It's a slider way out to make it 2-0 on Alex Bregman. So for Alex Bregman, the average over the last couple of years has been down, but still 254, 16 bombs, 63 RBI, 60 runs scored, 53 walks driven for Bregman, 55 strikeouts. So still solid all the way across the board. It's a 2-1 count now. Bruce Bochy looks on again, the former Giants manager, in between a couple of my friends on this side, in between the Rangers, the Kansas City Royals, and myself, the Tigers. Bruce Bochy was the bench boss on that side when the Giants won 3 titles with Buster Posey on that side as well. So we know that bench boss very well. And you think for Texas, it's an easy one to go ahead and pick up. 2-2. Now from Yuri Rodriguez. And a fastball directly back from the screen. And we'll offer at it again. So 4, 5, and 6 in this part at least will be Bregman, Abreu, and Chas McCormick. Bregman is at the dish right now batting cleanup. No base runners yet for the Houston Astros. Slider way out of the zone. This one bounces back off the screen right to Bregman. And they'll toss him across for a new baseball. As Rodriguez will be 22 pitches into his day. Again, we thought Corey Bradford might be the starter here on this side, as Texas might be doing a bullpen type game. We'll see if Rodriguez goes 2 innings or more. That's kind of my thought on this side. Is a fastball way out, and Bregman does draw his walk. So he's on that side, about 54 walks now, 55 strikeouts, about as good as it gets. He has very good eye on that side, and this will bring up Jose Abreu. Again, the 36-year-old veteran, a lot of the time with the Chicago White Sox, that was his only team until they picked him up here to replace Yuri Gurriel on this side. 241, 8 bombs, 51 RBI. Does not sound like a lot for Abreu, considering he's usually around the 100 mark or more, and his average about 280 on that end. But his numbers from this side, from what I just read to you, they've really started to level back to the player that you would expect them to be over the last couple of weeks. Abreu has been hot on this side to make those numbers look a little bit more respectable, as the first pitch missed down below the knees. So 10 seconds left to go on the pitch clock here. Rodriguez got a much more brisk pace than the other side for France, and this is a strike right at the knees on the fastball side, making 1-1 against Jose Abreu. And again, for me on this side as a Tigers fan doing this broadcast between the Rangers and the Astros, I've seen the Astros a bunch of times. I haven't really seen Abreu yet with the Astros, but I can tell you with Abreu from the White Sox, always a 100 RBI guy, always a guy that can be a threat for 30 home runs. You would think as a right-hand bat with those left side of the Crawford boxes, that's an easy home run to reach. Anything to dead center, it has a hard time when it's bouncing off that chain link fence off the top of the wall. Because this one's in on the fist. Abreu is quite strong. He's able to get this one up the center field, and even Leody Taveras can't knock that one down. So Taveras can't get there, and Abreu able to get the first. It'll put Bregman to second, and it's 2 runners on for the Astros in the bottom of the second with no outs. And again, even with that chain flying in the air, that Abreu has got able to muscle this one in on the fist, and as fast as Leody Taveras is, he can't get this one down. And it'll bring in Chas McCormick. Nobody's hotter than Chas McCormick if you want to count just one day of baseball. He had 6 RBI. He definitely had a couple of home runs, some walks. He can do a little bit of everything. We already knew Chas McCormick is an elite defender. When you're starting to bring that bat, you're coming into something very special. This average about 45 points higher than it normally would be. He's at 282. And now Rodriguez is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. In 5 games this season against Texas, 500, 2 home runs, 11 RBI, and his OPS out of this world, 1.651. So 1,000 is excellent, but he's way over that. So 1-1. McCormick slider way out of the zone, and Rodriguez very early in this game is getting into massive danger territory because McCormick has been the hottest hitter, especially against the Rangers from the numbers that I just read to you. So 2-1. You can't make a mistake here. If you're going to locate something, it better be on the black. And this gets away from Jonah Heim, and that's going to allow Bregman to take third. I guess this does open a double play possibility on that side. But with Bregman at third and Abreu at first, we will see what happens here with McCormick. They may just walk him on this side, considering how much damage he did yesterday. But that would bring Yonder Diaz to the plate. He is the backup catcher. He's a DH today. But Chas is in a very friendly hitter's count. And he's got an early opportunity to do some damage to put Houston on the board first. So Bregman at third, Abreu at first, Chas McCormick at the plate with a 3-1 count in his favor. It's been sliders outside the zone. And he reaches for one, puts this into the middle of the gap. This is going to be trouble. Taveras will try to cut this one off, and that's going to be a double for Chas McCormick. And Abreu goes to third. He can't be stopped right now. And the Astros take an early 1-0 lead. So a slider. This was just near the black, and McCormick able to reach that one out. He put it in between Jankowski and Leody Taveras. No chance for the Rangers to run that one down. They already made a nice sliding stop before that even got to the wall. And now for Rodriguez, they're going to have to figure out what to do here, because it's very likely that Houston is going to be able to at least get a couple more runs. Cody Bradford is now warming up for the Rangers, so they were using Rodriguez as an opener. Maybe he would get 2 innings. Who even knows if he can get out of this second inning now with runners at second and third for the Houston Astros. So Abreu's at third and Chas McCormick's at second. And Yuri Rodriguez is in deep trouble here. It's going to be Diaz. Corey Julks will get an opportunity as well as right at the 7, 8, 9 part of the order. But it's 7 right now for Yonder Diaz. You get an extra 5 seconds with runners on base as far as the pitch clock. And the first is a slider way out of the zone on the back foot, make it 1-0. The backup catcher DH today, Yonder Diaz. He had a great day yesterday as well, but who didn't for the Houston Astros? Fastball, that's a dot at 98. Up in the zone, make it 1-1. He's batting .266 Yonder, 11 home runs, 26 RBI, 6 walks, 41 strikeouts, 24. He's another solid rookie for the Houston Astros as they continue to churn them out. Diaz will offer out a slider about a couple feet out of the zone, make it 1-2. As he reaches at that one, again, you have at the third base side, Jose Abreu. All he needs is a deep fly ball. Doesn't have the most fleet foot of speed, but even with Taveras, he's fast, but a gun, maybe not so much. On that side, Adolis Garcia, more of the arm. 1-2. Rodriguez will get set to deliver here. Fastball blew him away at 98. So he reaches for it. That's going to leave it up to Corey Julks. Again, there's only one out here in the bottom of the second. Corey Julks got a lot of speed. 15 stolen bases as well with .260 average, 6 bombs, and 31 RBI. He's going to be due up next. If he can't reach, there's still another chance that this will be Martin Maldonado before the Astros will move this back to the top of the order. So runners on second, third. Astros already got 1 home in this inning. They've drawn first blood. Nice fastball, but he did not get the call on that side for Rodriguez. It was on the right side of the black, no doubt about it. So Corey Julks ahead, 1-0. .260 average here for Corey. Another one of those young players for the Astros. As this one's cued off the end of the bat. He reached for a slider there. Again, anytime that I would say early for Rodriguez, 37 pitches, but he throws that slider, I'd kind of just sit on it because a lot of these just seem to miss by 4 or 5 feet. They're not close. 1-1. This is a big smash for Julks near the Crawford boxes. And this is going to be caught by Jankowski. As he died, he was able to get it. It's going to get Abreu home nonetheless. That was a great play by Jankowski. He made a jumping catch near the left side of the Crawford boxes, but it was deep enough, so Julks did his job. Brings home another run, make it 2-0 Astros. That was almost knocked out of here, and diving just before the scoreboard, looking at the Crawford boxes, jumping and making the catch was Jankowski, able to get his hand out there to protect himself so he didn't jam anything. That's a great play. So Martin Maldonado, 165, he's in there for defense now. 7 home runs, 17 RBI, 11 walks, 55 strikeouts, 36-year-old. You would imagine Corey Lee is still in the system here for the Astros if they still think that he's going to be the everyday catcher on this side, or if you're going to stick with Yonder Diaz if Lee needs more seasoning. Again, that might be more of an MLB The Show type thing, but he's a definite catcher that's got a lot of speed, that's played in some futures games that looks good. So Maldonado, 1-1. It's a great catch for Jankowski. At least saved an extra run. This is a splitter right on the black. 1-2 as Maldonado, all they could do was look at it. So Astros got 2 runs home in the bottom of the second. They've taken the early lead. Texas wants to at least kind of get a split here, you would imagine, the first two games, because you want to hold on to that lead. The Astros, you know that they're coming, and they're going to be getting Altuve. And on the other side, Jordan Alvarez back, 99, just misses off the top of the box at the plate. Make it 2-2. If Maldonado does reach, that's going to bring up the top of the order again for Dusty Baker's squad. If not, you will start with Duran, Pena, and Tucker. So 2-2 against the longtime catcher here for the Houston Astros, Martin Maldonado. Fastball, not even close. Heim is able to catch that one, make it full against Martin. So with 2 runs home, and again, it was a great jumping catch in the left field part of the Crawford boxes for Texas Rangers and Travis Jankowski. Rodriguez, I think, would take it because it probably should at least be 3 runs. Fastball, got him. 97, he was late, strikes out, no matter. It's 2 runs for the Houston Astros in the top of their order coming on the bottom side. We'll see if Texas can get things going. They're down 2-0. When we get to the next part of the inning, I'm going to go ahead and give you some scoring updates when we get into the fourth. Just a solo call for me today, and then it'll be another Monday and Tuesday next week. The weekend side, I will be gone as far as some family plans in the MIS race for the next Saturday side of it. So I'll be gone during the weekend side for the next couple of weeks, but Monday, Tuesday today, and then Monday, Tuesday next week, we'll do some baseball. Try to get Alec Nava with me, or maybe we'll do Cooper Hopkins. We'll get him in here with the Seattle Mariners broadcast. That one was fun yesterday in extra innings. There was a lot of extra innings games yesterday on that side. It was a 4-3 win for the Twins. Couldn't believe that Colton Wong was able to get a 2-run shot. He had just 1 home run on the season, as we talked about, but he was able to make it 3-2 before the Twins tied in the bottom of the ninth, and they finished off with Correa in the 10th. So thank you to anyone who's sticking around, bounced in, bounced out. I know there's been a few of you here and there on this side. It's at Twitter Spaces and on the YouTube side at John Reinott. That's where we're broadcasting today, per usual, on this side. Again, I've done a lot of baseball, basketball, hockey. We did some AHL with the Calder Cup playoffs with the Hershey Bears and the Coachella Valley Firebirds. That was a huge one during that summer side of it. Hopefully we'll get a lot more NHL side. Alec Nava already said that he's going to be covering the opener between Crosby and Connor Bedard. I will have the late game on this side in between the Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights and the Stanley Cup opener, opening night in the NHL side of it on that end. So Esequiel Duran, it'll be 7, 8, 9 for the Texas Rangers due up here in the top of the third. Rangers now down 2 runs. Astros able to get a pair, and it was a great catch, as we said, by Jankowski. Probably saved an extra run already for the Texas Rangers to be up against. Again, they're coming into this one a plus, I believe, 150 run differential in the MLB, which is the best in baseball. So a slobber knocker for the Texas Rangers for scoring some runs, but Houston on that same wavelength as they've always been. Slider way out of the zone for JP France. Again, 23 pitches into his day. He's going to be the starter. It seems like Corey Bradford is going to try to go the rest of the way, at least for 4 innings before they go back into the bullpen. Probably won't use Aroldis Chapman here tonight. He's been used in several days in a row. He got rocked yesterday. Texas Rangers saw him give up his first blemish, but his numbers, even with the Yankees and the Houston Astros back at that time, he has never had luck here at Minute Maid Park, and he got roughed up yesterday with Texas. So 1-2, Esequiel Duran, and this is going to be a disengagement for Duran. So he's used his time on this side. Again, for Esequiel, 297 average, 13 bombs, 38 RBI, 14 walks, 77 strikeouts, 40 runs, 24-year-old career high across the board, a lot of those offensive numbers. And a slider again way up, makes it 2-2 now against Esequiel. So JP France, again, I've seen the fastball, the two-seam, and the slider kind of in the mix, a little three-pitch mix so far, but been pretty good. But as far as France, again, you throw those sliders, that's a good jumping leap by Bregman. Able to get that at the hot corner at third base and gets Duran. He hit that right on the screws, but Bregman was there to make the catch. What I was going to say for France, though, from that slider, just like it was for Rodriguez, you can kind of spin on that one because the slider is not soon to be located. That one was put in the middle of the zone, and Duran was all over it, but Bregman was there to make a leap and a catch. So Mitch Garver, he's going to be the DH today. Normally it's Robbie Grossman, but you can go between the handedness on this side between the left and the right and mix this one in. He's going to DH here for Robbie. Robbie's like a switchback. Garver's got more power on the left, but this is the righty here. 243 for Garver. He doesn't offer at it up the top of the zone. They will check, but he did not go. 2-0 for Mitch. That's going to bring up Leody Taveras next. Either way, 243, 4 home runs, 18 RBI for Mitch Garver. Waiting on the 2-0 pitch. And again, fastball was a changeup in the same spot. Now it's a fastball in that same spot in the top of the box. And you'll swell it to 3-0 for Garver. Long-time Minnesota Twin. I always knew him from the power numbers in the AL Central, but now he gets to join a loaded Texas lineup. And he's going to take the two-seam just to make sure that France can actually locate the pitch in this at-bat. He does right on the black bottom left side of the corner. It's still 3-1. So Garver, if you like it's a pitch he likes, can get a little nasty on this count and unleash the power swing. And this is a fastball, two-seam outside the zone, and the catcher draws the walk. So Leody Taveras, he's got speed. He's at the bottom of the order. Again, 12 walks, 33 strikeouts for Leody, 281 on the season with 11 bombs and 46 RBI. So the power numbers way up for a player like him, especially you would think maybe about 4 or 5 home runs, no 11 for Leody Taveras. So he's definitely been able to provide the pain train. You can also kind of use it as a double leadoff in this situation. This is slapped right near Corey Jolkspin. Again, 2 batters that hit the ball pretty good in between Esequiel Duran and on that side for Leody Taveras, but they hit it right at somebody. Jolk's able to make the catch and didn't have to move. And now Marcus Semien. He's got a 17-game hit streak at Minute Maid Park. Thanks Valley Sports West for that for the Texas side. 3rd longest streak by opponent in Minute Maid Park history. 304, 914 OPS here at Minute Maid. So he loves hitting here. This is a off-speed pitch that's slammed. Chaz McCormick will run it down. So the Rangers had 3 hard-hit balls, and they hit it right at somebody, and France does his job. He's still unblemished through 3. We'll go back to the bottom 3. Houston up 2-0.
As electric vehicle driving becomes quieter, so do our tires.
When we get in the 4th inning, I'll give you some scoring updates across the board. I'm just conserving the pipes a little bit because we're not running a 2-man booth today, but I do think Nava for yesterday, that was a lot of fun. In between the Twins and the Mariners, we did the 2-man booth. That's kind of the way I like to run baseball, especially more than less. I can do with the hockey and the single booth, but it's a lot more fun. We're working with Cooper Hopkins and Alec Nava on that. So for baseball, I do prefer the 2-man booth at Babel because you can kind of bounce off between both. You're switching between the play-by-play and color and the scene. The way that the pitch clock is and everything else now is definitely speeds it up. So it saves me on the 1-man booth, but 2 is definitely ideal, especially for baseball. So we'll try to get Cooper or Alec in on the next Monday or Tuesday side. As always, if there's any assignments that you guys want me to cover for next week, again, rain permitting, I'm not going to sit through the long rain delays, so I prefer domes or like Outlook weather if you can. But on that side, if there's anything you want me to cover with the MLB TV side for T-Mobile, I can get to it as far as any of these feeds, so I get that now. Thankfully for the T-Mobile phone service, it allows me to watch all these games so I can do these broadcasts and all that stuff with you. But Monday and Tuesday is the plan. Tomorrow I'm not going to be around anyway because there's going to be severe storms here in Michigan. I'm going to be without power. So we're just going to go ahead and get these broadcasts in now while we can. So the rookie left-hander Cody Bradford, he thought he might be the opener. Yuri Rodriguez goes 2 innings, gives up 2 runs. Bradford 2-1 in 10 games this season, 32 innings pitched, 4.70 ERA, 29 strikeouts, 8 walks, and a 237 batting average against. See if I have any other numbers here for Bradford. 2-1, 478, 113 whip. Spot starter, seems to be giving up something in each appearance. That's kind of what I have on there. He tops out at 90 between the fastball, changeup, slider, and curve, but a 90 to 82 mile an hour differential, so 8 mile an hour difference. He's not going to be one of those primetime arms. And for the Astros, already up a couple of runs, we will see how much damage they'll do. As now they'll go back to the top of the order for a second time. So the Astros 57-44, the Rangers 59-42, so they can get another game closer in Houston if they can win this one again. And Duran will put this third base line foul. And we'll do it again with the slider a little bit out in front of it. Again for Mauricio Dubon. Not replacing Jeremy Pena because he's in the lineup, but he's putting his spot on the top of the order. He's kind of had everything to be a career resurgence. Dubon's already been a good player, but he's already been in a situation now where he can definitely be a bona fide starter every day at the top of the order. And also you got Speedy mixing in there with Pena, Tucker, and Bregman. And this is still without Altuve and Alvarez. And this lineup is just as dangerous as ever because Chas McCormick's having a career year. Corey Jolks is having a great year. It just never ends. 1-1. Fastball, he's going to pop this one in the air. Nathaniel Lowe will take a look at it just shy of the netting, and he will go ahead and get it. The pop fly out here from Mauricio Dubon will bring up Jeremy Pena. So for Cody Bradford, hopefully they'll give me some inside information here from the Texas side. The last time against the Houston Astros on July 3rd, 2 1/3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, no hits, no runs. So he was pretty good, and I see a lot of late swings in that highlight package. We'll see if he can kind of replicate some of that right now. But again, the Astros 110-9 yesterday, and Chas McCormick had 6 RBI. A really late swing on a slider. And Jeremy Pena did not pick up that pitch at all. In the month of July, 151, only slugging 208. So that is just poor numbers for a player that is way better than that on that. So at least for me, especially on that end. 25 years of age, you still think he's got a lot of good baseball in front of him, but you think going into his year 3 on the following side for the 2024 part of the season, you got to make those adjustments, and hell, you got to make those adjustments now on this time to get closer to October because the Astros still have aspirations to be able to repeat as World Series champions. So 1-2, as this one is blocked at the knees by Jonah Heim. And Pena will get set to dig back in. Didn't realize the numbers were that low in this month. So MLB The Show ratings, if you have the current game, I don't on that side, but it would be way down as far as numbers per week-to-week basis. That's a great pitch on the black, but Bradford does not get the call right at the knees. And Dusty Baker really working on that toothpick on that side. It's a 2-0 lead still for the Astros. 5 seconds left to go on the pitch clock here. Again, Bradford's kind of having that same pace that Rodriguez did. He'll use all that time. As this one again down the third baseline, a little bit out front of that slider. Again, that's a better adjustment. The first pitch, he was way late, reached about 5 feet away. This one was inside. He was just a little early on it, but he did make the adjustment. 2-2 against Jeremy Pena. Kyle Tucker, King Tuck, is going to be next. Big 12 Conference Pitcher of the Year. Thank you for Texas on that side. This is delivered in for Bradford, and this is put right into center field. And Taveras will play this on hop. And the Astros have the base runner here at first. It's Jeremy Pena. He's still got fleet-footed speed. You want to put him between a 1 to 100 percentile. Can safely put Pena in the 80s. He can be a threat to steal. On this side, he got 9 stolen bases on the year. I believe he's been caught 7 times, however. So longest active hit streaks in the American League, Kyle Tucker with 10. Only Gleyber Torres and Mickey Moniak of the Angels who are playing the Tigers today have 13. So 10 for Tucker. Nathaniel Lowe's got 8. Those are the ones to watch in this game. So Kyle Tucker during his hitting streak, 432, 5 doubles, 4 bombs, 12 RBI, and 8 walks. one of the best hitters in the world, Kyle Tucker, and I've always said that about him. Honestly, as far as me on the outside looking in, again, I'm no Houston fan on this side. And again, it's one of those situations that I talk about even in the World Series. You can talk about some of the scandals and this and that. I get it. But at time, expect those ones to fade away. But I will say this. As far as anyone, if I could pilfer somebody on a team, I'd take Kyle Tucker in a heartbeat. I know everybody would say Jordan Alvarez, but I love the defense. He also plays in the outfield, a little bit of everything. Give me Tucker. I'm going to get a chance to take one. This is a bouncer right to first. This could be a tailor-made double play. Got to get this one over. And it took a little bit too long off the release on the second base feed. Tucker is going to be able to get a defensive indifference, infield difference here. So it'll be a runner at first. That's going to put Pena away as they're able to get him. For Nathaniel Lowe had to get back, and by the time that was fed back over from Semien, a little bit late. So it will bring up Alex Bregman, drew a walk his last time up. Tucker was there by a couple of strides that did not have to be close at all. So Bradford is going to take a long look in on Tucker before he delivers here for Bregman. And he gets a piece of it. This will be popped up. There's three infielders in converging, and Jankowski will find it in between Semien and Jung. And Astros are turned away. Still 2-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. So how about it, ladies and gentlemen? Let me give you some scoring updates. So in our game, it's 2-0 Astros, 2 runs on 3 hits. The Rangers have just 1. Angels and Tigers going to the bottom of the 8th. The Tigers are at bat. We're going to the top of the 9th. I just updated. So the Angels have a 4-2 lead. Looks like they're going to win that one unless the Tigers can get some sort of comeback there. The Orioles and the Phillies, it's 3-2 in the top of the 8th. The O's looking really good this year, and they have the best record in the American League. The Marlins and the Rays, they're in bottom 8. Tampa trying to keep pace with the O's. They're up 4-1 on Miami, who is really in the middle of a scuffle. I believe they've lost 10 of their last 12. They are in a slide. Bottom second, kind of just underway there. At Nationals Park, 2-0 Rockies. Nationals are 41-59 in the year. The Rockies are 40-60, so about the same. Justin Verlander, he's been doing well. The Mets are up 6-0 on the Yankees in the Subway Series. 2 teams that have been a big disappointment, although the Yankees, again, if they were in the AL Central, they'd be in first place. Mets, highest payroll in the league. They're trying to improve to 47-53. Braves and Red Sox underway, scoreless. The Guardians trying to get a reverse of fate against the Royals. They took the loss yesterday. Now they're up 5-1. Twins all over the Mariners, 5-1. Same score, top of the 5th. Cubs and White Sox in the All-Chicago series. It's 3-0 Cubbies, and that one's at Guaranteed Rate Field in the Chicago White Sox barn. It's scoreless between the Reds and the Brewers on bottom 3. Those are your updates so far. So back underneath the action here, it'll be J.P. France back on the mound. He's only surrendered 1 hit for 3 innings so far. It's a 1-0 count on Travis Jankowski. Takes a changeup that splits right down the middle of the plate. I would hope that didn't freeze Jankowski because he should have taken a big swing at that one. Nathaniel Lowe and Adolis Garcia will get an opportunity as well as the fastball's cued late down the third base line and make it 1-2 here for Travis. Texas trying to make sure they don't drop the first 2 games to start here for the Lone Star Series because that'll put, I believe, the Astros just 2 games behind the Texas Rangers should they lose. Cued foul, and this is directly back. And we'll have to do it again, still 1-2 for Travis Jankowski. So just 1 home run, 22 RBI, 28 runs scored, 2 walks, 28 strikeouts, career high numbers for the journeyman. He's been all over the place in MLB, but he does have a decent bat. He able to make contact. Slider. This one is left field. Corey Julks will camp underneath it and make the catch. So 1 up and 1 down for J.P. France here in the top of the 4th. He has had a very economical outing against a very dangerous Texas offense. Just 38 pitches thrown between 3 1/3 outs so far, innings in this game. Hasn't only given up one hit. Nathaniel Lowe chewing on that green gum. Is going to be set up here for Maldonado, delivered the first pitch curveball way out. This is probably only the second curveball that I've seen JP throw. 800 slugging against right-handers, sixth in MLB. Nathaniel Lowe's definitely got home run power, but you think easy double power no matter all the way across the field. This is a fastball, a little bit late, a perfect pitch up near his kitchen. And I'll fault this one back, make it 1-1. So France, his last 4 starts, about a 2.20 ERA with those aviator glasses. A little Oppenheimer-like on that side. Again, it's been a big box office weekend between Barbie and Oppenheimer. So, again, when you're thinking about that, flying a plane on this side or having any of those type of things, you think about those type of glasses. 2-1 now as the count swells. And Lowe's going to be in a good hitter's count. Maybe he can make it 3-1. And he does just that, is able to spit on a fastball just off the outside of the box. And this is where you can absolutely get dangerous. And even with a 2-0 lead, you can go ahead and say, yeah, go ahead, you can walk Nathaniel Lowe, but you still got Adolis Garcia to deal with. So you got to make sure you locate this pitch nonetheless. You're looking to do some damage. Fastball just past a diving Jeremy Pena. And the Rangers have their second base runner of the game. It's a solid single for Nathaniel Lowe. Adolis Garcia had the first hit of the game. He is due up now. So it's going to be very difficult to double up Adolis Garcia with his speed with Nathaniel Lowe. Probably can get the out at second if you think of any kind of double play possibilities, but Adolis Garcia does run well. It's not the hamstrings in the leg that hurts. It's about that right hand, and they'll take a pitch off of it just a few days ago. But now he is back in the lineup. He just couldn't grip the bat the other day. They kept him day to day, but he was out of the lineup now. A little bit of extra padding there, that right side hand of that glove to make sure don't get anything else to hit it. Maybe that power could be zapped, but those singles and that speed won't be. So 262, 24 bombs, 80 RBI. And a single in the second. And a fastball a little bit late on the first base line. We'll do it again at 1-1. John out here with you on the call. It's a 2-0 lead for the Houston Astros, but the Texas Rangers up at the dish right now with 1 out. With a man on first, it's Nathaniel Lowe. Adolis Garcia 1 for 1 today. Again, the Rangers' offense can strike at any moment. So can the Astros. Fastball popped up in the air. And this will be to Tucker. Able to shadow underneath this thing and make the easy catch. 2 away now here for Texas. Josh Jung, 275 again, as we said, with 20 bombs, 61 RBI. He had an absolute missile toward the third base side. Alex Bregman able to make the catch. And on that side, Corey Julks as well. On that side of it, between Jung and Heim. We'll see if that happens again. He does strike out quite a bit. He did so in his first at-bat. This one is a slider, splits the middle of the plate. Chaz McCormick will be pushed back from the right side of the warning track. He runs over, makes the catch, and the Rangers are still scoreless, although they pick up another base hit. It'll bring up the Astros bottom 4 up 2-0.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, making Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this. Big clutch hit. There. There, too. Hang in there, Ricky. Yeah, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your world?
We're going to be heading to the bottom of the 4th in the commercial break. That'll be the Houston Astros up to the plate already, up 2-0. Thank you guys for bouncing in between the Twitter Spaces and the YouTube side today. That John right out. As always, I appreciate it. It's nice to be able to get in some baseball games. I'll admit that. As we're about a week away from the trade deadline, be able to get some baseball games. Some right thing to do here. A little bit of that summer dead period before we hit into football, and then shortly after you're going to have hockey and basketball upcoming.
Valley Sports is brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation and the St. Days of Summer, reminding Texans to buckle up day or night. Front seat or back. The bottom of the fourth inning tonight in Houston. Brady, McCormick, and Diaz.
So Brady, McCormick, and Diaz will be due up here for Bradford. It is his second inning of work. Gary Rodriguez got the opener portion of it. Once we get more nowadays, you get some relievers that'll play a couple innings. This one is going to be tossed back over and thrown out on the other side. So Brady was easily turned away by the Texas defense as that was thrown over by Esequiel Duran. And Bradford's got one up, one down in the bottom of the fourth inning. And that will go ahead and move it up to the order again for Chaz McCormick batting sixth. Again, Chaz has been all over it in this series in between Texas. He loves playing against his rivals in the West. Fastball up near the face, and this one is 1-0, does not offer at it. Again, Chaz McCormick, again, from what I'm seeing, I always knew he was a great defender. I'm also seeing more discipline at the plate, some heavy contact. He's becoming a very dangerous baseball player because he already had all the tool set as far as the arm, the speed, and the hustle and the reads on defense. You bring it in the bat, I mean, that makes you a complete baseball player, no doubt about it. Good pitch for Bradford. Change up right on the bottom black, up near the knees, and now it's 2-1 as he tries to get back into this at bat. Yonder Diaz will be next. About 4 seconds on that pitch clock is a fastball. This is hit almost near the warning track. Taveras will take a couple extra steps back up and make the catch. And it looks like he just missed it, did Chaz. He's been reading the ball quite well. So the DH today, the backup catcher, Yonder Diaz. He bats seventh. Again, 266, 11 bombs, 26 RBI. 6 walks, 41 strikeouts. He's 24 years of age. And as we talk about it with Nolan Ryan's team, again, he was with Texas. They turned him away. Said, I'm going to go to Houston and turn them into a World Series contender. He did just that. Another solid-looking rookie. This one will push back Adolis Garcia just as a warning track in right field. And the Astros are quickly turned away. Let's go to the top 5. Texas needs some runs. We'll see if they can get them. They're down 2-0. I am no stranger, and I will tell you this. As much as I love doing the broadcasts and everything else, single, I will always be the first to get to it, especially if I got paid or any minor league side, regardless of wherever I had to start, regardless of what sport, I would love to do it. But you will never see me turn away from defense and pitching duels. Not only does it save the pipe, it keeps everything streamlined and timely and allows these broadcasts to go through because I've had my share of extra inning games in baseball side of it. They go to the 15 side before the Guardians win last year against the Rays. And on that side, I've also had 4 overtime games when Matthew Tkachuk scored the game-winning goal against the Carolina Hurricanes. So I've had my stretch of elongated ones, so I never feel bad, never turn away pitchers' duels. Just so you know, because I've done a lot of these. So you take whatever you get. But to be going into the 5th inning, not even under an hour, and these old rules, as I mentioned before, this is the 3rd baseball cast from the season. That would not be possible without all of these rule changes, and you're still able to implement the same amount of commercials and everything else. Going to get set to go to the top of the 5th. Again, I might jinx myself from everything that I just talked about in the YouTube section, but on the MLB Roto-Writer side of it, we were talking about amounts of runs scored and what was the particulars after the 10-9 side. Well, it was an over-under of 9. Right now, we're well under the under. So France still back out there. Curveball popped out of the hands. So Jonah Heim is going to get set to get underway here in the top of the fifth. Again, Texas just 2 hits. On this side for the Astros, they have just 3 hits, 2 runs have scored. So Heim waiting for the 1-0 from France, who's been really good. He's late on a 92-mile-an-hour 2-seam. That doesn't seem very common. 36 RBI in the last 43 games for Jonah Heim. He's been all over it. But again, you can talk about any player for Bruce Bochy's side of it and the bench coach, and you can put any guy in any situation, they're going to be able to score some runs as far as what Texas is going to be able to do. So now it's 2-1 for the catcher. And again, we know the elite defense, but the 20-year-old is definitely breaking on in 279, 14 bombs, 70 RBI. Turned himself in the best catcher in the American League, bar none, at least for me. On this side as this one's fall back. You can talk about JT Realmuto and the National League. Jonah Heim doesn't nearly make as much money, but if Heim continues these same type of numbers, you would bet Texas has always been willing to spend money. They will take care of their own in Jonah Heim, and he's not going to be going anywhere if he can continue that same type of production. It's not going to be Pudge numbers for Jonah Heim, but certainly one of the best catchers they've had, I guess, since Pudge. I would go out and say that, but what say Texas fans? 2-2. Slider in off the back foot, the spin on, making a full count here for Jonah Heim. It's going to be Esequiel Duran next. Again, he hit one right on the screws, third base side where Bregman made a jumping catch last time he was up. Texas hit the ball hard a couple times, but they only have a couple hits to show for it. This one is right in on the fist. That would have been a ball, but Heim was able to ride that one the whole way, almost on the first base line, but it went foul. Yes. Semien definitely looking on right now. Nathaniel Lowe, everybody else tighten up group here for Texas. They're looking on. This is a very important series between Houston and the Rangers in the Lone Star Series. This one is left. Corey Julks can't get there. And Jonah Heim gets a bunched up single left field. They hit it where they weren't on that end. And that's going to bring up Esequiel Duran. So 55 pitches into JP France's day. It's a jam shot right in on the fist. And again, you got to be some kind of strong to be able to do that. Corey Julks does have some pretty good speed, but he played that smartly. Knew he was going to be able to make a dive. No reason to do that, especially when you're up by 2 and give up an extra base. Esequiel Duran definitely has that speed, so he's going to be tough to double up. So 93, that split the plate on the 2-seam. And France, when he's made a couple mistakes so far, Texas has not been able to make him pay for it. Career high 13 home runs this season. Again, you would expect that to be much more as we're about still another 60 games left to go here in this season. Most teams have already hit the 100 mark. That's what's a good time to do these broadcasts. You got the deadline as well on the Monday side. We're less than a week away. Everybody's talking about Shohei Ohtani. He looks pretty good in Texas or Houston, wouldn't he? Or even as a rental in Philadelphia. I know people are going to want to get him long term. You would imagine he's going to go to a contender if the Angels don't continue to win and try to get him to stay or make some trades of their own. So 1-1. 2-seam way outside. Make it 2-1 on Esequiel Duran. This could be an opportunity for Texas to go ahead and get some runs and draw first blood for themselves. They're trailing 2-0 to their bitter rivals, Houston Astros. So France getting close to pitch number 60. And so he'll throw this one over. It's a slider reached for. And thankfully for Duran, it goes up and out of play down the right field line. So JP France, from what I've seen from his first start, again, it's on my third baseball broadcast, that slider, even though it's missed about 5 feet each time, he's gotten the Rangers to go after it. They're not picking up that bite, and they're just trying to get a piece of it. They've been late on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. This one's grooved. Corey Julks, great jump. That was destined to go into the gap. And Julks made a great play, and Duran hit it hard on the screws again. And all he could do was be turned away. You know you're frustrated when you hit the ball well twice, but all I can say to the young fella on that side is keep doing what you're doing. Once you hit the ball hard like that consistently, you're going to get base hits. It's just baseball. You get turned away. But, man, that's tough because that's definitely a double. So on that side of it for Mitch Garver, he's batting 8th. This is cued. Nice flip from Pena. Sent back over. Easy double play. So the Rangers were in business until they weren't. Mitch Garver reached for a slider. Very poor pitch at that. Said, you got to spit on it. He didn't. It's a double play. Astros at the bat rack, bottom 5.
With its bold design, athletic stance, and Chevy's cargo space, Chevy Blazer is picture perfect. Lease a 2023 Blazer 2LT for just $269 a month. Put it in a D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
When I first started my small business, our space and our equipment could not keep up with demand. Then I applied for a loan from Amazon with great rates. We moved into a new facility. Now we're selling all over the country.
Nearly 60% of products sold come from independent sellers.
It's time to stop staring at the Dunkin' sausage, egg, and cheese. And time to go get the Dunkin' sausage, egg, and cheese. For $3 with a medium or larger coffee, it's time for a Dunkin' run. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hey guys, Ava here, and let me show you guys my room dripped out Amazon for less. So I got all this new stuff in all my favorite colors. Light pink, hot pink, all pink. I like the clean raw sometimes. I like it clean where no trash. See that garbage out here? This room laying me like y'all, let's go to my room. This is my desk. I brought some blocks, got legendary bars, and I studied too. Bro, I've never seen you study before. Yeah, study, because you never in my room when I study.
Y'all living in the garage? I got a ride in the living over there. A car, not two Mexicans.
I found my place out here in the desert. There's a frequency. If you listen, you can hear it.
Edgar, we make it like you're working it. All on Valley Sports. It's brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. And by your local DFW Kubota dealers. Together, we do more.
So you talk about that Texas heat that's been going around 115 degrees Fahrenheit on that end. Again, it's about 90 something here in Michigan. There's going to be a lot of storms tomorrow, but the only heat so far has been from the Houston Bats. Everything's been a little quiet though. It's 2-0. It's not the 10-9 pace that it was just last night, which has McCormick with 6 RBIs. So the Jolks going to bat 8th here for the Houston Astros will be 8-9-1 due up as Jolks takes a fastball way out of the zone, and this one gets called the strike 0-2. I don't definitely blame him for having a look on that end. That was a missed one. So this is a slider way out, and Bradford again. If you're going to go ahead and get that call, might as well throw it low and see if the ump calls it there too. Sack fly for Jolks. End up scoring one of the runs here for Houston. They're up 2-0. 1-2 count here for Corey. Bradford 23 pitches into his day. And a off-speed pitch is slammed down the first base line, and we'll do it again for Corey Jolks. Again, bringing up his numbers, 266 bombs, 31 RBI, 21 walks, 69 strikeouts, 15 stolen bases. Another one of those solid players that Houston continues to turn in. This one is in off the hands. Will this stay playable? No, Nathaniel Lowe can't get there. This bounces off the netting. And Jolks is still alive here. 1-2. So I've liked what I've seen, especially defensively for Corey Jolks, man. He made a great dash and a great read toward the left side. They'll make that catch on Esequiel Duran, who's hit the ball very hard 2 times and has nothing to show for it. Fastball. This is a lazy pop-up center field, and Leody Taveras is able to camp under it. It's 1 up, 1 down in the bottom of the 5th for the Astros. So Martin Maldonado is going to be next. Again, I talk about his average. You kind of turn away and block your ears. 165, 7 home runs, 17 RBI, but it's about the defense. But even for Maldonado, even at 36, I know that Dusty Baker loves him. I know the prior managers and everybody else loves him, and the players do as well. But there's going to come a time where you have Yonder Diaz or you have Corey Lee on that end, and Maldonado just 1 hit in his last 20 at-bats. The defense is going to start to wane a little bit as it's done. That you'll move on at some point. But he is a guy that you can go ahead and keep around as a backup, no doubt about that. He'll still get his time nonetheless in the next few years, I would imagine. 1-1. Bradford 28 pitches into his day. This is a good hit for Maldonado. This goes off the wall. He doesn't have a lot of speed. Is he going to be able to race in there for a double? Yes, he will. It is just off the wall for Maldonado. He had 1 hit in his last 20 at-bats. Now he's got 2 in the last 21 as he slams a double in the left center field. Just missed a home run there. But a good swing. He got a piece of that changeup below in the zone. He stayed with it. And he hit that probably 385 feet, somewhere close to before it slammed up against the wall. It was at 399 to be able to go out. So we go back to the top of the order with Mauricio Dubon. He swings and misses on the slider at 86, right on the top side, black, left side of the box. He is playing second base today, bats right, 268, 5 bombs, 27 RBI for Dubon. Jonah Heim giving the signal here for Bradford. He's going to try to finish his 3rd inning of work unblemished. Nice play for Duran, throws over to Nathaniel Lowe, and it's 1 up, 1 down, but that will get the runner over. And it's going to be Maldonado at 3rd with Jeremy Pena in the 2nd spot here. He's going to try to get this run home. The 3rd run would be pretty big for the Houston Astros right now, considering Texas, I wouldn't say struggling because they've hit the ball hard. There's been some outstanding defense, but J.P. France has done his job so far. So you get the extra 5 seconds, and that's what Bradford is going to designate as he lets the pitch go right at 1 on the pitch clock, and it's a 90-mile-an-hour two-seamer right on the black, and Pena will take it. Couldn't do much with that nonetheless. 0-1 here for Jeremy, and on this side for the 25-year-old, 232 average, but he's more close to a 275 average if you want to count last year as a rookie. He reaches for a slider, and he would have needed an oar to hit that one way outside, about 6 feet. Just not seeing the ball as well as you'd like to on certain times, although he does have a base hit. It was a solid single past the diving middle infield of Duran last time. So 0-2 count. See if Bradford can finish off Pena. Another slider. It worked the first time. Why not try it again? Pena will spit on it, and the count swell to 2-2 here. So the Rangers and the Astros, again, just 2 games back are the Astros. They win this one. It'll be just a game back. So they could essentially, in the 3-game series, get themselves into a tie should the Astros sweep. And blew him away with a fastball. He was late on a 91. So a missed opportunity there for the Stros. And now this will go to the 6th inning. Rangers need runs. We'll see if they can get it now. Still 2-0 Astros. Again, thank you guys in between the Twitter space and the YouTube side for listening in at John Reinott. This game has been fun so far. Again, I always enjoy the brisk pace of the things that we see. I will never complain on that end. We will give you some updated scores as we go across as well. The Angels and the Tigers now have gotten to the 10th inning. So the Tigers, he said they had to make a comeback. They did. So for the sake of the recorder side for Twitter space, I'll update this. Top of the 10 in between the Angels and the Tigers now. The Tigers needed to get some runs. They did. It's 6-6. Top 10 Angels have the bat. Again, you start with the runner at second. It's Alex Lane and Mickey Moniak. And right now it's a runner on third for the Angels. Bottom 9, it's the Orioles up 3-2 on the Phillies. Phillies are in their final at bats. 4-1 for the Rockies over the Nationals. Top of 4. End of the 7th, it is the Mets 7-2. The Yankees finally get on the board. They were down 7-0. At the end of 1, it's Red Sox 2, Braves 1. Twins still up 5-2 on the Mariners as they are about at the bottom of the 6th. In the All-Chicago series, it's all Cubs against the White Sox 5-0. That's a guarantee in right field in the White Sox camp. Reds and Brewers, it's 2-0. Bottom 4, Brewers up at the dish. And in our game, we're going to be getting to the 6th inning. The Astros are still up 2-0 on the Rangers. Rangers, no runs on 3 hits. The Astros, 2 runs on 4 hits. Not a lot going on so far in this game. Angels have just scored, and now they got a double for Mickey Moniak. 7-6 Angels as far as your scoring update. Get back into our featured contest. We'll get into the 6th inning. It's the Rangers up at the bat rack here. So a little bit of a double leadoff situation here, the way that this is going to work. It's Leody Taveras on the bottom part of the order before you go to Marcus Semien. Now, if it's me, I'm not going to second guess Bruce Bochy because it's a team that's been in the first place in the AL West for pretty much the beginning of the season. But I'd even like to see Marcus Semien kind of bat in the middle of that side and maybe move Adolis Garcia around, because Marcus Semien is absolutely someone that can do a little bit of everything, but Adolis is kind of that power guy in that cleanup. That's the way that's worked. Taveras needs to get on base, and his back goes flying toward Abreu on the first base side, heads up over there, able to make that catch, and luckily no damage on that side. Sometimes you do routinely see the bat get flown out of the hands. They don't let you have as much of that grip and all those other things just to make sure. But France, there was a changeup, and he got a little early, and the bat came right out of the hands. We're going to look on the flipping side. This goes toward the umpire. Now, he didn't even flinch. That is sweet there. Did not even flinch at all. It's kind of like the Matt Barnes inbound to Kobe Bryant. Remember that? No flinching on that end. 1-2 for Leody Taveras. Curveball. Wow. Outside black. It was kind of close. Taveras didn't swing at it nonetheless. It was too close probably to take on a 1-2. And Taveras will punch out. They'll bring out Marcus Semien, another one of the All-Stars for the Texas Rangers. That's just a little too close to take. I think it's close enough in the strike zone where I'm not going to blame the umpire for calling that one. That's a great pitch for JP France. He's been excellent. Switch it back around. It'll be Marcus Semien. 0-1. As he takes a curveball just on the outside black again. So a couple of curves. We'll see if he mixes it up. This is JP for pitch number 66. And a fastball. We're going to see if he goes. He did not for the first base side. So Marcus Semien back for a 1-1 count. Texas needs base runners. They only got a couple hits. They've had some hard hit balls from Esequiel Duran that got robbed by Bregman and Corey Jolks. Semien will serve it to right field. Tucker can't run it down. Semien does have good speed, but Tucker's got a great arm. Semien's going to hold at first. It'll be a solid single. Travis Jankowski will be due up now, with France about to deliver pitch number 68 once he goes up to the dish. So Marcus Semien, again, that's an example of why he gets 273. This is up near his fist, up high in the zone, still strong enough to fall that one on the first baseline or right field side, and bloop it in for a single. Semien's got a little bit of speed, probably out of 100, you'd say about 65. As Jankowski, this will get popped up. Pena can't make the grab, and Semien will go to second. He thought about going to third, but Pena tried to turn around and make an over-the-shoulder catch. But he did see it. He was able to get it right to Bregman. So 2 on now for the Texas Rangers off a couple of blue hits. Jankowski, this one skied up really shallow into center field and between the shortstop and center field on that end for Chas McCormick. And Pena and McCormick have a ton of speed, but nowhere they're able to get here. So Nathaniel Lowe's got a prime-time opportunity to do some heavy damage and get Texas on the scoreboard with runners at first and second. So we'll see how JP France will play this one. 1-0. 429 since the All-Star break, 2 bombs, 9 RBI, and an OPS of 1,238. So definitely swinging a hot bat. Chas McCormick at 1,600. Is this one tailor-made, thrown over, nice flip from Duran, safe. So it was tailor-made, but Nathaniel Lowe busted his butt down the line. And it's going to be first and third. The Rangers get another 90 feet closer, but can they score? It'll be up to Adolis Garcia. So Duran with the flip over to Pena. Pena, he got that off as quick as he could, trying to get in the middle of the slide. So Duran with the feet over. Pena trying to get a quick little transfer, and Jankowski, to his credit, I'll give him this. He broke up that slide just enough to negate that double play to allow Nathaniel Lowe to get down to the first base line. So good work there. So it's up to Adolis. Great pitch for France. Right on the left side of the black. So 0-1 now. Adolis Garcia, 1 for 2 on the day. He was able to get a single on the right field line, just short for Kyle Tucker to catch it. Runners on first and third. Texas, how many more opportunities are they going to get for this? We know how good their bats are. This is swallowed up by Pena. He can't make the play. Texas scores. Semien is in, and the Rangers finally get on the board. Jeremy Pena kind of looking like Jose Altuve during the playoffs sometimes. He couldn't keep his eye on the ball, and it allowed Texas to score. And you would think with some of those that for Taveras hitting it on the screws, it's a bouncing ball, try to get gravelled up into the stomach. He couldn't do it, but it was hard to hit as Taveras was able to make it and not get a couple runs. You feel like Texas should be where they are. Now they're only down a run. So Josh Jung, he can tie this game with a base hit, no doubt about it. He's 0 for 2. Couple of punchies. He's been reaching for some baseballs that he shouldn't. He's prone to the strikeout. JP France does need to get out of this. We know the Houston Astros can score some runs, but you do like to keep the lead. You want to be able to keep his line fresh because France has been ridiculously good so far. Through 6. He's only given up 1. It's the third time through the lineups at 286, which is definitely not bad. 245, 229, 286. But really, he should have already been out of the inning. And man, Jung really went fishing for a slider. Not even close. 1-2 now. Not picking up the baseball right now. France going to try to get out of this at pitch number 76. 30 runs scored 6 innings or later, tied 4th most in the MLB. Both of these offenses can be clutch. The Pena should have kept this 2-0, but it's 2-1 now with runners at first and second. It's going to be an unearned run against France. Did he offer? No, he did not. Very close for Jung to pull the trigger again when he really shouldn't, but he was strong enough to hold that bat back. And Texas still alive here in the 6th with runners in scoring position. Still a 2-1 lead now for the Astros. About 5 seconds now to work with in on that pitch clock as Crawford will get set to dig in, or France, I should say, JP France, not JP Crawford. That's the Mariners. Oh, a bad call by the umpire. Punches out Josh Jung. That's a fastball 5 feet out of the zone, and he is run up for the 3rd time today. That was a complete miss, but Semien able to do enough damage, and Adolis Garcia, he hit one right to Jeremy Pena. That should have been a routine play, but going to the bottom 5, it's 2-1 Houston now. So I'm keeping this one close to the vest. Now it's bottom 9, 3-3 Orioles Phillies. It's bottom 10, 7-6, 7-6 for the Angels over the Tigers. But it is no outs with a runner on second at the start. So it's here in loop against Javier Baez as the Tigers try to get their run in the bottom of the 10th that the Angels got in the top. When we get back into our game, we'll be in the 6th. It's 2-1. Astros still have the lead. And the Phillies have just beaten the Baltimore Orioles. They win 4-3. So Yuri Rodriguez was the opener. Now Corey Bradford's out for his 4th inning of work. He's going to go against the 2-3-4 part of the meat of the order here for the Houston Astros. Again, it's a 2-1 game now. Jeremy Pena definitely made an error out of a routine play, which allowed the Rangers to get a run. But again, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, you think for as hard as not Adolis Garcia, but Adolis Garcia and Esequiel Duran, especially, for as hard as he's hit the ball a couple times, he could have had a couple base hits and probably already at least give them a run. But it's 1-0. Kyle Tucker, this one is in on the fist, fouled back. broke his bat, and he's going to need a new piece of lumber here. 1-1, so we'll take a couple extra beats for Kyle Tucker to get a new bat. Again, 303 average. That is a career high. 17 home runs, 68 RBI, 49 walks, the same as well. That's going to be well on pace for that. 56 strikeouts, 18 stolen bases. I do believe he's a superstar. I mentioned earlier as well. He'd be the one player I'd take as far as you can pull for one player from each team to go ahead and make your team better. He's going to be in his second year of arbitration and a third before he's actually going to collect his big payday. That'll be at 28 years of age. And you imagine Tucker's definitely going to get a solid sum because he plays outstanding defense as well. 1-2. Did he offer at the fastball? They checked on the third base side, and the ump says no. It's 2-2 now. Houston want to try to add to this lead. They were up by as much as 2-0. Texas now has made it 2-1. But Houston is at the bat at the bottom of the sixth. No outs. This is served. Right field line going back. Gone! Kyle Tucker just got it out of there on the right field side. And the Astros go back up by 2, make it 3-0 with a solo shot for King Tuck. He just does it all. His 69th RBI of the season, that was a solo shot at 364 feet. And the Astros back up by 2. It's a 3-1 score. It is a changeup right on the bottom part of the black, but Tucker able to reach with it. He got it perfect timing. He stayed with it the whole way. He hustled just to make sure it didn't go out there with Adolis Garcia, but it did. 3-1. 18 home runs is enough to pace the Astros right now. And again, for Kyle Tucker, for as good as he's going, you still got Bregman, you still got Mauricio Dubon, Jose Abreu starting to percolate, Chas McCormick has been on fire, and you're still going to be able to insert Jose Altuve and Jordan Alvarez. On the 10-day IL, you would think that they would be back sometime by the trade deadline, which is Monday on that end. So less than a week away from returning of those bats. So this team will get even better. Bregman, he's batting cleanup, but Tucker was able to do that cleanup himself with a solo shot. 0-2 for Alex Bregman. And this is a slider just outside. 3-1. Still 0-2 the count. 3-1 is now the score. Astros up in front. So Bregman waits on the 0-2 pitch. Got about 5 seconds to go on that pitch clock. Bradford will deliver. It's the first run that he's given up in this game. Uri Rodriguez was the opener. He surrendered 2 runs in 2 innings. Bradford only trying to give up 1 in 4 innings of work, which would be pretty damn good, all things considered, between the starter and the opener, or however you want to mix and match that. 1-2 pitch. And off the fist again. This is a 2-seamer. Just followed away a little late there was Bregman, but I'll get an opportunity to do it one more time. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my local score just to see if anything else has changed. And the Angels do get the win 7-6 over the Tigers. Tigers were able to force their way in the bottom of the 9th, but they lost in the 10th. Got to be able to get those runs over. You'd think you'd need to bunt over the third base side, especially for the Tigers in that end, but they did not. So 2-2 against Bradford and Bregman. Tucker just got a home run in this, and this is a bouncer. Down on the third base side, and this will be thrown over by Jung to Nathaniel Lowe, and now it's finally 1 up and 1 down in the 6th. Jose Abreu is going to be next. Longtime Chicago White Sox now on a new team with the Houston Astros. He's 36. Again, his numbers sound a little low. 241 average, 8 bombs, 51 RBI, 28 walks, 94 strikeouts. But the 36-year-old is definitely starting to level back over the last couple of weeks. Batting 5th in the order today for Dusty Baker's squad. First pitch curveball way out. And Abreu will take it. 1-2 on the day for Jose. He's got a solid single in the second inning and a run scored. Change up low. 2-0. This is right directly in the bottom part of the strike zone, about a couple feet outside. 243, again, 8 bombs, 51 RBI, 646 on base percentage. Good, solid single past a diving Josh Jung down the left field line, and Abreu. It's got his second hit, both singles, but he'll take it nonetheless because that's going to give somebody an opportunity for Chas McCormick, who's been one of the best hitters on the planet of late, especially against this series of the Texas Rangers. He loves beating up on this team. He hits for power, hits for average. He can definitely pick him up and put him down on defense. He's got everything right now. And bringing up that bat, again, for someone who's just 28 years of age, you're right in that prime of your career, looking pretty good. McCormick really went for the downs there on a changeup at 86. He missed it, though. 0-1. Braves at first. He drove in a double and a run scored in McCormick in this game so far with a 1-2 count. Bradford trying to get to his fourth inning work, just giving up 1 run. Yuri Rodriguez gave up 2 in the opener. McCormick will follow up a changeup that was directly dead split in the middle of the zone. A little bit late on it. 284, 13 bombs, 42 RBI, and a 907 on base plus slugging for Chaz. RBI double in the second, and a run scored. 5 seconds which to work with on the pitch clock. Get an extra 5 because there's a runner on base. No disengagements used yet. And this is cued fouled on the third base line. 0-2 against Chaz. Again, this is the Lone Star Series. Jonah here doing the commentary and the play-by-play color for this one. On this side, it's a solo cast. I thank Alec Malvin for joining me here yesterday. We got Cooper Hopkins reactionary on the side of it between the Mariners and the other side for the Minnesota Twins yesterday. It was a heartbreaker for the Mariners. This one is bounced off the stomach of McCormick. Able to reach for a slider and keep it alive. So Mondays and Tuesdays for me for the next couple of weeks. So I will be back next week, Monday and Tuesday, after this game is done. We'll give you the complete play-by-play and game story as usual on this recorder side that you see on the YouTube end. So thank you for joining me at John right now, Twitter Spaces and YouTube. 0-2 still the count against McCormick. And it was very close to a pitch violation. And this is fouled off the changeup. Just got it away at the last second to throw that pitch. Again, should it be any kind of pitch violation with the 0-2 count, it'd be an automatic ball on that end. So that's what the pitch clock keeps everything timely. And you only get 2 disengagements as far as throwing runners over or 1 step out per batter in a plate appearance. And he swung through a changeup. So McCormick was on it a couple times. He thought he was going to get a fastball. Nonetheless, Bradford throws the changeup, blows him away. He thought he was going to get a fastball. He was way out in front of it. So that'll bring up Yonder Diaz, the DH, the backup catcher today. But the DH on this side, he's going to try to get this one done as it's a runner at first. Abreu's still been tethered there. Diaz 0 for 2. He offers that a 2-seam at 89. And this one will get fouled back, and we'll do it again. Astros up 3-1. If they do get this victory over Texas today, that will put them just 1 game back in the AL West. If they get a sweep, it'll be even with the Texas Rangers should they win on Wednesday as well. They won yesterday's game 10-9. It was a complete run-scoring affair. I was kind of sweating a little bit on the brow side just to see if how many runs would be scored today. The over-under is sitting at 9 in the opener, considering there was Yuri Rodriguez and Corey Bradford, a little bit of an opener before you get into the starter here, but only 4 runs scored. And a swing and a miss on a slider that was not even close to the zone, and Diaz will still offer at it. It's now 1-2. Texas, nonetheless, they're going to want to make sure they hold this. They're back down by 2 again. It's as much as they've trailed. Trailed 2-0 and now 3-1. Diaz, this is a bounce. Would be an easy flip over there from Taveras, right to Marcus Semien. And the Astros are turned away, but not before they get a solo shot from Kyle Tucker. Puts it 3-1, and the Astros back up by 2. Texas back up to the bats as we go to the 7th. Thank you guys, honestly, in between the YouTube side and the Twitter space, Duran right now for following along. I humbly appreciate it. Again, I wish I could give you more broadcasts as far as this week. Wednesday's going to be heavy storms here in Michigan. I may not have power, so we'll have to cut that out. And I'll have to get one of the days to clean up and get everything ready because we have some family engagements on the weekend, and then I'll be gone all weekend next week for MIS. So it'll be Monday and Tuesday this week and Monday and Tuesday next week. Maybe try to get Alec Nava, Cooper Hopkins back in for at least a broadcast booth team up on one of the two games. And then when we get back into the following week, probably be able to get some more baseball. And then I will say after a few weeks after that, we'll get back into the NFL picks. It'll be time to do that again. That'll be the NHL beta, I imagine, at the end of August. So I'll take a little extra time to be able to play that one. Hopefully get some games and get a review for you. And then when we get into September, that is going to be a situation where there is going to be playoff baseball, a lot of the things late on that end, and we will see where we go. It'll be interesting to do a broadcast next Monday because it'll be right on the deadline, and we can talk about some of the moves that are made. What are you guys anticipating?
Takes upstairs ball one here in the seventh between Heim, Duran, and Garcia.
So Heim, Esequiel, Duran, and Garver, that'll be the top of the seventh. The first pitch missed. The second one way up high as well. As JP France is still out there, he's trying to get through 7 innings of work. His pitch count's been very economical. It is 2-0 the count, though, against Jonah Heim. And if it wasn't for a misplay by Jeremy Pena, they'd be up 3-0 right now. And France, at least for the run against him, it's not earned on that end. 3-0 as the count swells for Jonah Heim. They're going to make sure to get the bullpen ready here for Dusty Baker's squad to see who's out there. It's the split finger fastball of Hector Neris. He's the one getting warm. 4 pitches. They all missed. So maybe Neris going to need to get ready a little quicker here for JP France. So it'll bring an opportunity for Esequiel Duran. Now here's the dangerous part. You get the walk, and Esequiel Duran, both times that he's been up, he's hit the ball extremely hard. He got robbed at third base by Bregman. He got robbed in left field in a great jump from Corey Jolks. How many times can he continue to get the ball hard and not have something good happen for him? 5 straight pitches outside the zone for JP France. Pitch number 82. And now we are going to get a meeting on the mound. I think this is a good idea just to be able to go ahead and get some more time for Hector Neris to get warm. They're going to make sure and buy this. This is a very diplomatic version of the Houston Astros to go out there and buy some time because for Hector Neris, he's just trying to get warm. And JP France has thrown 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone. He walked Jonah Heim. Esequiel Duran has hit the ball very hard 2 times, got nothing to show for it, could easily have a couple of runs. And then they make sure they buy a couple pitches for the split finger fastball that is in the bullpen and Hector Neris. So Astros trying to gain another game on the Texas Rangers in this Lone Star Series. If they do gain a game tonight, it'll be just 1 game back in the AL West and just a week away, less than a week away from the trade deadline. So 1-0. This is another hard hit ball for Esequiel Duran, but it's right at Chas McCormick. My goodness, he's just had a tough day. He's done everything right, but he's got nothing to show for it. It's going to put Heim back to first base. And now Mitch Garver is going to be up. 243, 4 bombs, 18 RBI, 12 walks, 33 strikeouts. 32-year-old still got power against lefties, but that's not where on the mound right now. That's a righty. It's all righties here for the Houston Astros for the most part. Not a lot of lefties, especially in that bullpen side. We're talking about Framber Valdez on the side for starters. This could be tailor-made. Here's the flip over. Garver, they got him. Double play, and France able to get out of it. It was 7 innings of solid baseball. He only gave up 1 run. It's not earned, and the Rangers turned away again. It's the second double play they've hit into. So the Astros at the bat rack, bottom 7, they go to the stretch. They're up 3-1.
surprising fuel-efficient VC turbo engine. You can go from 0 to fun on the outside.
I will say this with the low-scoring game that we've had right now, it's kind of helped the pipes when the second cough drop shouldn't need more than that. We'll be able to bring this game to you between the Lone Star series of the Rangers and the Astros. It's been a lot of fun. It's still just a 3-1 game. And the Rangers have not been able to get much going. Again, I feel for Esequiel Duran. It's been one of those games. You hit the ball hard everywhere. You're just not able to get anything to show for it. Every at-bat's look good for him, but sometimes that happens. It is baseball on that end. But didn't expect on that side for JP France to go 7 innings of no earned runs. It was a 10-9 victory yesterday with Chas McCormick getting 6 RBI. And the over-under was set for RotoWire on that side as 9 runs. So far, we're well under the under here, as it's a 2-1 scoreline. Or 3-1, excuse me. 3-1 scoreline because Kyle Tucker hit the bomb. So the Rangers back up by the Astros back up by 2. Thankful I'm not using this official on the recorder side, so you won't hear any of my mistakes. Astros back up by 2. It's 3-1. They were up by as much as 2-0. Now it's back up by 2 again. So bottom of the 7th, Bradford is back out there. So he's going to try to get through 5 innings of work, giving up just 1 run here. Again, it was Yuri Rodriguez giving up 2. All he's responsible for so far is the Kyle Tucker solo shot. Jokes. We'll put this one up the netting toward the first baseline foul. He's got a sacrifice fly in the second inning. 259, 6 bombs, 32 RBI, 687 on base plus slugging on that end. Very good looking player, especially in the left field side. Got a lot of speed. I know Yordan Alvarez loves to play there. He's above average. He just doesn't have the wheels that Jokes has. And Jokes will punch out. They're going to say that he went at a fastball 2-seam at the top of the zone. So that'll go on the other end as it'll bring up Martin Maldonado before we flip back over to Mauricio Dubon. It'll be 8-9-1 at least in the bottom of this 7th inning. Astros, you figure at this point, again, I suffice, maybe I shudder to say it, that if they get another extra run here, it could be enough. Again, Texas could strike at any moment. But the way Houston, they got Ryan Presley, Hector Neris, some of these back-end bullpen arms, it's tough. And for Houston, their ERA, team ERA is at 3.73. That's tied for 3rd in baseball. So even for a lineup as good as Texas is, we know they can make some runs, but I would think it's going to be difficult to get some runs off Presley should that come to be the case, but who knows. 1-1 against Maldonado. Does not get the call, does Bradford. He got a very friendly call a few batters ago with Josh Jung. That was a fastball, 5 feet outside the zone. Called for a strike. He had 3 punchies in this game. One of those not on Jung. Well, that should have been a ball. 2-1. And he swing and miss on a changeup high. 2-2. So Maldonado was able to drive one of the baseballs to deep left center field. So Mickey Moniak, they just have the video on their 10th inning double, proves me the difference. Again, one of the top prospects for the Angels. They beat Tigers 7-6 and made their run. Our featured game is 3-1 Astros. Martin Maldonado at the dish. This one's hit very well for Maldonado. It's gone! Up in between the Crawford boxes. And a couple of times I've said in between this broadcast for Maldonado at 165 for the batting average. Well, he says, John, take that. You think I can't hit the bat very well? I pretty much stroked the double. I had to be held for a single. And then an absolute no-doubt bomb. And the Astros had taken a 4-1 lead as Martin Maldonado muscles up on Bradford. And he gives up his 2nd run. And that is just a splitter that doesn't split. It goes right to the dead center of the plate. And that's where it goes. It goes right in the Crawford box. So Mauricio Dubon will spin out of the way as this one misses up high. And we will see if Texas has anyone else starting to warm up in their bullpen. And now the Astros have their largest lead of the game as Maddox is on the phone now. There's a call to the bullpen here. Bradford still trying to do pretty decent. He was only giving up a couple runs. Same thing for Rodriguez. And then it's Spencer Howard. He is the bullpen on here on that side. As he just called back up. 2-0 against the Bond. He's 0 for 3 for the day. This is a fly ball, and this is lazy center field. This will be picked up by Leody Taveras, and it'll be the second out of the inning. So Houston Astros get another solo shot. They just scored one in the previous inning for Kyle Tucker. Now it's Martin Maldonado, as it'll bring up Jeremy Pena. If he doesn't reach, it'll be 3, 4, and 5 due up in the bottom of the 8th. And that is going to be another opportunity to do some damage. Bradford right at the 70 pitch marker. He's had a decent outing. I mean, both the Rangers pitchers that are there in the opener, I know Yuri Rodriguez, that's tough. They give up the 2 runs in the 2 innings, but nothing's been all that bad. But again, this is another one of those diplomatic pitch outs, calls there from the manager. Just go ahead and buy some time for Spencer Howard as he just got off. So Bradford, hopefully for the Rangers' sake, he can get out of this 7 with no more damage up against him and give Howard enough time. Again, for Chapman, he's been used 3 days in a row, so you would imagine you will not see the Cuban Missile on that side today. Again, he still throws 103. It's amazing. Remember, he was still doing that as a 19-year-old, the Cincinnati Reds. He's still doing that now for the Rangers as they got that trade a few weeks ago from the Kansas City Royals because Texas desperately needs bullpen arms. I mean, the pitching is come and go on that side. You can talk about Nathan Eovaldi, as some of the Texas friends do on that end, but for Texas, they're just not a good pitching team on that end. It's just hit and take. You score a ton of runs, but when you're not scoring a ton of runs, you're going to lose. And that's kind of the situation it is for Texas. It's kind of the same boat I always talk about with them. But this is the best their offense has ever been. They were really good last year, even better this year. It's one of the best offensive teams I've ever seen. 1 strike pitch is fall back. 86, it split the plate. Pena, if that was last year, that would have been an absolute moonshot, but he missed it. 0-2. 1-3 today. He did get a solid single past the diving Esequiel Duran. 4 seconds to go on the pitch clock. This one's lured by Bradford. This is looped. Taveras has the speed, though. Gets a good jump. So Bradford does surrender a shot to Martin Maldonado, and the lead swells to 4-1. Texas down to their final 6 outs in this Lone Star Series. They're down by 3.
Chevy Blazer's roomy interior, generous cargo space, and available navigation. It's always game on for surprise adventures. Release a 2023 Blazer 2LT for just $269 a month.
We'll give you another update in the bottom of the 8th as far as the scoring. Just going to conserve the pipes a little bit. It seems like with the Rangers down to their final 6 outs, they're down by 3 runs. You're going to have to do it against an Astros bullpen. That's very good. I think it's all situated right now for Hector Neris. If he can get 3 outs, you shuffle right over to Ryan Presley. It would be a good opportunity for the Astros to get within a game in this division. So, again, for the Astros, we're always talking about the Rangers this year, right? As far as their runs scored plus 150. Again, that's going to go down to about a plus 148 on that. And as far as the differential, when this is done, unless the score line goes even more. But the Astros, they're not talked about as much because you have the Rays, you have the Orioles, you have the Rangers, all in the American League. Isn't that exactly where you want to be? Because I think about it last year with the Vegas Golden Knights. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Boston Bruins. Toronto was always really good. You had the Rangers, you had the Devils percolating, a lot of things in the East. Who talked about Vegas? Because you had Colorado, you had Dallas, and some of the other things. I think the Astros kind of in that same spot. A lot of people don't want to see Vegas win. They did. A lot of people don't want to see the Astros win after all the other things. They did multiple times. And they could still do so again, even as good as Texas is this year. Nobody should doubt that. So Hector Neris, he will get a chance in the 8th against the final 6 outs for the Texas Rangers. They need some runs. 45 games this season, 42 and a third innings pitched, 148 ERA, 49 strikeouts, 21 walks, 172 batting average against. The exit velocity against him is at 84 miles an hour. That is the 5th lowest in all of baseball. So when you make contact on a splitter, those are worm burners into the ground that get tossed over and turned over. So Leody Taveras, again, the double leadoff situation will be Leody Taveras on that end, and then you go back from Semien and Jankowski unless you want to go into the bench bats. Again, the Rangers are going to be without Corey Seager, at least for the foreseeable, for the next couple of weeks. They should be able to survive with that. This one is cued in off the feet, still got a piece of it, but the Rangers are down to their final 6 outs. It's top 8. They're down 4-1 in this Lone Star Series, and if the Astros do win again, they will drive themselves to 1 game behind in the AL West for as good as the Rangers have played all year. Harris, splitter. This one is lifted to Kyle Tucker. Able to catch this one in shallow right field. Tucker's able to play some good defense and also hit you a bomb as he's done in this game. And I'm going to go back to Marcus Semien. Semien's been excellent this year. 273, 14 bombs, 61 RBI, and a 784 on base plus slugging. He had a single run scored in the 6th. He was able to muscle an inside fastball down the first base line. So Hector Neris, his 4th pitch of the day. This is a fastball way out of the zone, and Semien will spit on that. Again, for Marcus Semien, the curious situation is this. Never have to worry about his defense, but he's hot and cold one year to the next. He could have a very cold down year, comes back, has a great year. Very cold down year the next, comes back and has a fantastic year again. So it's one of those feast or famine situations for Semien. Looks like for the Rangers on the very hot year right now. As this is a tough pitch right at the bottom of his left foot. And he goes back to the umpire and says, "Are you kidding me?" On that side. That was definitely a ball. Make it 1-2 as Neris does get a friendly call. This one looped into left field. So Semien, he didn't get a call he liked, but he blazed that one past Corey Julks, who gets it in quickly, and another single for Marcus Semien. So the Rangers have another base runner, but the most of the time they've been tethered to first base, not being able to get things going and sustain multiple success with multiple hits. We'll see if Travis Jankowski can do just that. So Jankowski's got the long hair and the golden locks. He's got a single in the 6th. That's a gorgeous splitter at 94, just at the bottom of the black. Make it 0-1 against Travis. 1 for 3 in the day. He had a single in the 6th. He's batting .319. Not a lot of pop in that bat, but a ton of average. He will put the ball in play. Semien's got decent speed, probably about a 60 to 100 percentile, and the splitter just low. Again, I won't mind that call too much because I was very close to splitting the plate. 0-2. Again, that splitter is very designed to be able to turn double plays. And Texas into a couple already with the speed that they have. 0-2 pitch. Down the first base line. Is this going to be fair? Corey Julks trying to go pick this one up. Semien on his horse. He's trying to get the third. And safe is Marcus Semien. He never stopped running. And Travis Jankowski gets a double. I didn't think there was any way Marcus Semien was going to be able to take that one first or third, but he does so. Heads up base running. Is there going to be any sort of challenge here for the Houston Astros? So Jankowski serves it down the third base line. It is fair. Corey Julks got to get on his horse. This one bounced off the chalk out line. He played it fair. And the throw to the plate for Maldonado, he just got the right foot in before the tag. That is outstanding base running for Marcus Semien to be able to give the Rangers a run when you think they probably weren't going to have one. So it's a double for Travis Jankowski, and it's now a 4-2 game. At least to me, it looked like he was safe. The Houston Astros will put on the challenge. I thought they were going to nonetheless because I didn't think there was any way, even with Semien's speed, that he was going to be able to go from first to home. That was a pretty good relay there from Julks nonetheless. So the call on the field is safe. And we're going to have a little bit of an extended wait here. We'll see how long this is going to take. I thought that Semien was able to get the right foot in before Maldonado's tag. He was able to get the tag of the left foot, but the right foot was able to get in. So I'm getting a second look at this. A block of the plate. Maldonado's got it. The ball comes, and it hits off the left side of the knee off the tag, but I think his right foot's already in there. I think that's a good call by the umpire. And I believe this run's going to stand, and there's not going to be an out. It's close, but I think Semien's in there by a beat for sure. I'm going to say that one's safe for the Rangers officially on my call. And it'll be a 4-2 game, but we'll see what the umpires think. I think he got there maybe a stride and a half. So I think it's definitive. I think it's going to be difficult to overturn. That's just me. Again, if I wasn't on the solo call, I'd be able to ask Alec or Cooper or whoever else, even Dustin Hall. I know he's a Texas guy on that end. Runner's out! Holy cow! So the challenge is won. I thought Semien actually got his foot in there before it. That looked like that was going to be a no-doubt run scored. Bruce Bochy is, I think, a little beside himself. Marcus Semien can't believe it. I would say this, as far as the runner being out, again, they have some definitive look that I don't have. But I thought for sure from first to third that Semien should have stayed at third. I didn't think he had any reason to be able to go from first to home. He still had 6 or 5 more outs to work with at that point. You got Nathaniel Lowe on deck with 3 runners on. Now it's just 2 runners on, so he can get a 2-run shot instead of tying the game. You don't want to run yourself into an out, but that's what Semien did. I thought it was safe, but I guess not. 1-0. So Neris, the splitter was low, and now the fastball is right on the black. 2-0 does not get the call. So the strike zone has been a little inconsistently. Again, Semien just looking on. I'm not going to knock him for the hustle. A little Jay-Z there on that side, but still, nonetheless, you figured it was going to be tough to make that play. So this could just be an intentional walk at this point because Neris had a 2-0 pitch that was called a ball. And now Maldonado is going to go get a meeting here with Hector Neris. And Nathaniel Lowe is in the driver's seat with a 3-0 count. Neris supposed to be 14 pitches into his day. Adolis Garcia would be next should Nathaniel Lowe reach, but there are 2 outs. So if Texas is turned away, they had a run that was taken off the board with Semien being called out. That could be absolutely big at this point. Again, it's only a 3-run deficit, but the Houston pitcher on the back end is terrific. 3-0. Inside and draws the walk. They didn't really want to pitch to Nathaniel Lowe, but one of those should have been a strike. Draws the walk, and Adolis will come up with runners on first and second in the top of the 8th. Houston Astros holding on to a 4-1 lead. Adolis Garcia is dangerous, although I imagine that right hand is still bothering him a little bit. A little extra grip there. I don't know if that power is going to be sapped, but that speed's definitely not going to be. Jammed him with the fastball, and this is down the first baseline foul. We'll do it again. 0-1. 80 RBI for Adolis. He gets a hit now and drives in a couple runs. He's going to have number 1 in the MLB with 80 RBI. He was tied for the most. He could break it here. Chopped fastball goes foul down the third baseline. Make it 0-2 against Adolis. So Spencer Howard is warm, and we'll see who else, whether it's Jose Leclerc or wherever else that they want to use on that end. Leclerc is warming up for the Rangers. Adolis up against it here. 0-2, but runners are on first and second. It's Jankowski and Nathaniel Lowe. Again, Semien was thrown out, trying to go from first to home on a double from Jankowski. There was a good relay from Jokes, and Maldonado got the tag down, apparently. I thought Semien was safe, but he was not. Adolis. And this will take a look for Martin Maldonado, but it's fall back across the inning, first base line. 0-2, still the count against Garcia. 1 for 3 today with a solid single past the diving middle infield of Jeremy Pena. Garcia definitely has the speed to get on his horse, but again, he'll be jammed up on the base pass by Nathaniel Lowe at first. He's not slow, but he's not fleet of foot either. 5 seconds left to go on the pitch clock. The 0-2 pitch. This is hammered down the left field line. Foul. That had the distance for Adolis Garcia, so there's my question of whether or not he can still bring the power with a little bit of an injured hand that's bothering him. He was day-to-day on that side, being struck with a pitch in the previous part of the series. He missed the first game yesterday, but he's in back now for the second. He'll get that extra padding, a little bit of cooling on him. Still waiting on another 0-2. Fifth pitch. Swing and a miss for Garcia. He offers it a splitter that's not close, and the Rangers are turned away. It's going to be the Astros' final chance to go ahead and add some more damage in the bottom of the eighth. They're up 4-1. It's been a good game so far. Again, we can talk about whether or not Semien should have went, but you still got to be able to deliver. But I would have liked the opportunity for Nathaniel Lowe with runners on second and third with one out. So that's a missed opportunity. But again, Semien, that's a great run. I mean, I thought it was safe. He had a chance. He hustled. It would have taken a perfect play, and apparently it was one.
Do you hear that? Tiny pens, filters, string keys, tiny oranges. Just put all your school supplies and lunch stuff on DoorDash and get it in an hour less. Can I get a lemonade?
When you're on the road, you'll be glad you chose T-Mobile, covering more highway miles with 5G than anyone. And when you're stuck,
So as the Rangers were turned away trying to make it 42 to get closer within this game, we're going to head into the bottom of the eighth with the Astros with the final chance to go ahead and enter the lead. And once the Rangers can come with something miraculous, we'll be in the bottom of the eighth with the Astros got a 4-1 lead. So to let everybody know, as we get back into the bottom of the eighth, I will be back on Monday and Tuesday with a couple of baseball broadcasts. I'll try to get Alec Navar, Cooper Hopkins with me on that end, just to at least get one more group effort. I'll be away from both of the weekend side of it. So Bradford is still out there. He's going to get a chance now to get at least, if I got my math correct, 6 innings of work here, 74 pitches. And Tucker absolutely blasts one, just foul down the right field line. He was trying to get his second solo shot as that put all the fans into a frenzy. And it would have given Houston a 4-run lead, but it's still 4-1. He looks really good at the bat rack right now, Kyle Tucker. 1-1. Fastball way outside. It's 2-1 now for Tucker. 3, 4, and 5 will be due up for Dusty Baker's squad in the bottom of the eighth. It's Tucker, Bregman, and Abreu, so heavy damage opportunities. 2-1 pitch. Good fastball on the black. This time got the call as it got part of the outside box on the left. And we'll do it again at 2-2. Tucker's got the defense. He's got the power. He's got the average. Again, 303, which is the best of his career. 2-2 pitch. This is down the right field line, and it's sprayed for another single. So Tucker, what do you know, is on again, first base side. Again, I've talked about it throughout this broadcast. It looks like Bochy might go ahead and get Bradford. They got Howard warm. They got Clark. They go ahead and make the change. If there's a player that I would take, it would be Tucker. I think he's the most complete player on the Astros team, and you got a lot to choose from on this side, but that's just me. Bradford out there with 70 pitches, but they'll go ahead and take a call to the bullpen. It's a runner on first. Bottom 8 still upcoming when we come back.
MLB ballpark app. It's the best way to access, manage, and share your tickets with friends and family to any MLB game. It's your personal companion for when you're at the ballpark, helping with venue info, dining options, exclusive club offers, and so much more. And it's a great way to capture your visit by adding photos and memories from a fun-filled day at the game. Download the free MLB ballpark app on the iOS App Store or Google Play today. Every bite better with Pepsi. Guaranteed.
It's a pitching change for the Texas Rangers. We're still waiting for the bottom of the eighth. Kyle Tucker is at first. So the projected starters tomorrow for the third and final game of the series will be Andrew Heaney for Texas, Framber Valdez for the Houston Astros. Heavy advantage for the Astros there, so they could definitely get the sweep in this series. That would move them into a tie with the Houston Astros. They win tonight. They're only back by one game. So that's why this series is so big on that side of it. For Texas, I don't think you have any worries as far as a wild card, but you want to be able to do as much damage as you can and not have to stay out of a two-game playoff. It was one game before, but they put an extra game from last year. So 9 games of AAA Round Rock. Spencer Odd's number is 18 and a third, 5.40 ERA, 30 strikeouts, 7 walks. So those numbers are high. Now you got to go up against Major League hitting, and this is going to be a strike up at top for Alex Bregman. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Tucker is at first. 4-1 lead for the Astros. It'll be their final chance to go ahead and add some runs, where they look to close out. Depending on how much the lead is, maybe you won't, maybe you will, or maybe you won't see Brian Preston. Slider had a lot of movement, but it wasn't even close. 1-1. So 56 out of 78 pitches are strikes on that side for Texas on that end, but they've scored 4 runs of the Houston Astros, 96 mile an hour. That does have a lot of movement, but it goes just away from the strike zone, 2-1. Tucker still at first. He can definitely get an extra base off of a single here. He's got fleet-footed speed. Bregman is definitely keen to draw walks. He does not care what you do. He won't swing at it unless he likes it. Tucker goes. He's safe. So Tucker able to get in and take a base. Now that keeps them out of the double play. Jonah Heim's got a great arm. Tucker does have a lot of speed. And as I said throughout the broadcast, it makes me feel good doing a little bit of everything. That is Tucker's 19th stolen base of the season. Just out in front of the tag and able to get a hand on the bag before he got the back of the jersey. So that keeps them out of the double play. And now Bregman with 3-1 hitters count. He'll pop up on a slider. This is going to be important for Nathaniel Lowe. Does make the catch. So a sacrifice of sorts, if you will, because Tucker does get the base. He gets the second. Now we'll bring up Jose Abreu. So on that, it'll be a Jose Abreu and then Chaz McCormick, 5-6. And McCormick will be another opportunity for him to get another at-bat before we go to the bottom of the ninth, at least. And that could be good, because if he hits something else and they score another run, 4 runs, it is probably over, even with Texas. Abreu. That's a 96 dot on the inside black, 0-1 against Jose. He's got 2 singles in this contest right now, 2 and 3 for the game. And Spencer Howard trying to deliver pitch number 7. He's taking the 8th, trying to get all 3 outs in relief of Cody Bradford, who had a pretty good outing. He was able to go 4 innings, give up 2 runs, but Yuri Rodriguez got the start in the opener. He gave up 2 runs in 2 innings. Jose Abreu, 2 singles and a run, 245, 8 bombs, and 51 RBI, 650 LPS. But just get the hits. That's all it's about. That's a good swing, but this one's going to get popped up a little bit early. And calling off, Semien, Garcia makes the catch, and it's in shallow right field. There'll be one more opportunity here for the Astros, but it's the right guy on the mound to do so. And Chaz McCormick at the bat rack against Spencer Howard. So McCormick one more time, 282, 13 bombs, 41 RBI, 24 walks, 63 strikeouts. He's had a breakout year. He's definitely been able to swing this bat more so than he's ever been. He's already been an outstanding defender, 1 for 3 in this contest. Slider, and if that would have missed a little bit more toward the plate, that could have been pulled in the boxes. He was out in front of it there, but he was ready to swing. 0-1 is the count against Chaz. He's going to have to reach for Yonder Diaz to be next. And Texas trying to hold this deficit at 3 in their final 3 outs. McCormick reaches right at third. Josh Jung going to have to make a great throw, and he does. So good job on a long throw off a 1-out bounce to Nathaniel Lowe. We'll go to the top 9. Texas needs to score 3 runs, at least get to the bottom of the 9. They're down 4-1.
Are you on your way? Yeah, coming. And Mom and Dad? Don't worry, they'll be there.
Go beyond the expected with the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power. Kia, movement that inspires.
Did you know nearly 60% of products sold on Amazon stores come from independent sellers like Adrian?
When I first started my small business, I thought I had a plan. Not quite equipped for as much as we were attempting to produce. Henry makes all natural garnish for cocktails. Back then, our space and our equipment could not keep up with demand. Then I applied for a loan from Amazon with great rates, and it was approved in 2 to 3 days. We moved into a new facility, we bought new machines, and we're continuing to hire.
So you know what? I'll tell you this on the YouTube side. I thought about it. If Cooper Hopkins was going to be available, I knew that Alec Nava wouldn't be on the second day side of it. So if you want to go back and double up Mariners Twins and see what the game's going to be like, we can do it again. So the Mariners scored 4 runs, I believe, in the, let's see, the 8th and the 9th inning. They scored 4 runs in the 8th, and now it's bases loaded with no outs for the Mariners here in the 9th. They were down 6-2. It's 6-6. Now they got bases loaded in the top of the 9th, and this could be big for the Tigers in Cleveland, at least nonetheless, because Cleveland to gain a game, the Tigers stay in their spot. If Minnesota does not hold a 6-2 lead, it looks like they may not. They're going to give up at least one more, and they're going to go to the bottom of the 9th at the very least, down like they were last night. They were able to tie it up in our game and then win in extra innings with Carlos Correa. Seattle trying to have different ideas. So in our featured game, before we close out, we are in the top of the 9th. Texas needs 3 runs to get to the bottom of the 9th here. Ryan Presley, the closer, is in. It's a safe situation. 45 games this season, 45 and a third, 2.78 ERA. He's about as good as it gets for the right-hander. Again, getting a little bit long in the tooth, but he can still throw a heavy fastball and do a ton of damage. 2.78 ERA and a .90 whip is about as good as it gets. So Josh Jung, who's already punched out several times today, is going to have to go up against one of the very best closers in the league. It'll be Jung, Heim, and Esequiel Duran, who's hit the ball hard everywhere. So Presley on for the save situation. The Astros in a very comfortable territory, and Josh Jung trying to jump Presley early. It's 0-1 as it's fouled straight back. Presley will get a new baseball. So the over-under, again, as we talked about in the Roto-Wire, part of the starting lineup was over under 9. We're way under that. We're at 5 runs. And Presley, I don't think is going to be keen to give up too much. That's not what he's all about. He's always one of those lock and key guys. I know closers always tend to be, but if you're talking about Presley, you're putting him at the top echelon part of the league. 1-1 as the curveball misses low. And the next pitch is slammed toward the right field side. It'll be a shallow fly. And this one will be picked up by Kyle Tucker. And it's 1 up and 1 down. So the Texas Rangers down to their final 2 outs. Jonah Heim is next. They're down 4-1. Should the Astros win this, again, I have the complete game story and coverage on hopefulsportsguy.wordpress.com, as always, following their game stories. But should they win this, they'll be 1 game back in the AL West, and they have a big opportunity for a sweep tomorrow with Framber Valdez on the hill. Presley gets the call on a splitter very low, and Jonah Heim is none too pleased. I would not be either. As a catcher, you'd like to see him get those calls fairly on both sides. 0-1. Seems like the Astros got a few more of those. Here is a slider that was right in the happy zone, but Heim was a little bit too quick on it. Make it 0-2. Presley 5 pitches into his day. trying to get the safe situation. Texas has been held very quiet other than Marcus Semien being thrown out trying to stretch a double into a score as Jonah Heim drives it past Kyle Tucker, plays it on hop, and Texas has a runner at first with one out. Still have a lot of work left to do, though. But I will say Esequiel Duran, I feel for him. He's a little bit due. So Jammer Wow asked me if I'm a Rangers fan. I'm broadcasting this from Detroit, Michigan, my friend. I'm actually a Tigers fan, but I am just giving you the look in the Lone Star series in between the Rangers and the Astros. I figured it was going to be a good game, but I like to go across the league and give you all that stuff between baseball, basketball, hockey, and the mix of college stuff. So 4-1 as to the score line. Esequiel Duran's hit the ball hard all over the place. 1-0 is the count against him. We'll see if he can get something good. He's really deserving of it, honestly, at this point. 10 seconds left to go on that pitch clock as Presley gets a sign from Maldonado. This is a curveball way in. That'll back up on Duran. So I appreciate you guys following in on the Twitter space and the YouTube side at John Ryan Out. We're just getting set to close here. Presley takes care of business. Astros trying to draw within one game in the AL West of the Rangers. We have a very big series. 2-0 pitch. Duran pops it up. Tucker might have the chance to play 3 straight, and he does. This is his second out. And the Rangers are down up against it here. It's going to be Mitch Garver. So Mitch Garver is the last hope for the Rangers. Again, the over-under of RotoWire on the start of it was 9 runs. If you got the under, you're going to do pretty good. So OT says, thank you for the fantastic play-by-play and color commentary. OT, I appreciate that, my friend, on this side. Again, my lungs were saved a little bit from the 10-9 yesterday. We were able to get Twins and Mariners. I'm glad you enjoyed that with Alec Nava. It's a solo cast for me today on that end. But I'll be back on Monday and Tuesday again. If there's anything you guys want me to cover, leave a comment section. Everyone said the Rangers were going to sweep. Jammer, I'm glad that I did not on that end because the Astros, I think they might hunt in the AL West. Again, whether or not people like them or not, I know about the Rangers offense, but isn't the Astros offense just as good? And their pitching is leaps and bounds better, especially when you get in the back end of that bullpen, even with some of those starters. So I'd be very cautious if I'm a Texas fan to kind of think that Houston wouldn't catch them. 1-1. Garver. 0-2 on the day is the last hope. Fastball high. It's 2-1 as Garver's trying to work his way into the driver's seat. Leody Taveras, if he reaches, would be next. But the Rangers are up against in their final out. They're down 4-1. Again, they'll have to salvage something tomorrow, but that's easier said than done against Framber Valdez. Astros are the kings of the South. I imagine a lot of Houston fans feel that way. You know that. They've been doing a lot of damage. And for Texas, I mean, Nolan Ryan was there. They told him to leave. He went to Houston. That's got to hurt. 2-2. Curveballs in. Fans are standing right now at Minute Maid. They're urging Presley to get the save. It's a 3-run situation. You know he's comfortable. He's one of the very best closers in the league. 2-2. Down to the final strike. Garver doesn't offer. Keeps it alive. Rangers are the Stros' little brother. Yeah, it definitely seems that way, Sebastian, on that side. The only thing you can give the Rangers credit on is they're always willing to spend, but it hasn't worked for them right now. But this is the best offense they've ever had. The problem is Astros are just as good, and this is still with missing Altuve. And on the other side, Yordan Alvarez, who will be coming back. Full count pitch. Garver with a big swing. He's going to send McCormick back. It is off the top of the wall. I think it's gone. So Mitch Garver muscles up, and now it's 4-3, and the Rangers are not done yet. Mitch Garver just got it out of there, 420 feet, and the Rangers now trying to make a push. It's going to be up to Leody Taveras to extend it. That was a slider that was dead red in the middle of the plate, and Presley knew it as soon as Garver swung. He just put it right down the middle. It was easy for a power hitter like that, and he got a piece of it. And now we will see if the Rangers can tie this up. They were down by 3 with Presley on the mound. That kind of seems like a sign, seal, and deliver. But now we will find out. You're still, if you bet the under, you're still doing okay with 7 runs. It's at 9, and the Rangers trying to press. They need at least one more to extend it. Marcus Semien waiting on deck. You remember earlier in this game, if he wasn't thrown out from first to third, this game would be tied right now. So Leody Taveras 0 for 3. Swing and a miss on a split. It's 0-1. It's a one-run game again. Well, I've had thrillers the last couple of games. I feel pretty fortunate to pick some good ones in between the Mariners and the Twins, and now the Astros and the Rangers in back-to-back nights. 0-2 pitch. This one is swung toward Tucker, trying to make the catch. He leaps. It does. Just off the side of the wall. It turns away the Rangers. Tucker saves the game, and Presley earns the save. It went down to the final swing, and the Astros take the first 2. They take the series, and now tomorrow they try to take a sweep. Leody Taveras just missed it on the right field side. He just missed it deep enough. Good jumping catch by Tucker. Again, as we've said, he does it all. He made a great catch. He probably saved a home run or at least a ground rule double. And the Astros take this one 4-3. Thank you to everybody who joined within this broadcast. What a fantastic contest we had on back-to-back nights. Astros win, and now they're one game back in from the AL West as things start to tighten up. Trade deadline is less than a week away on Monday. We will see what these two teams will do. I think they're going to be very active. Jonah here with you on the call tonight. It is the Astros winning this one 4-3. That was a lot of fun. I will see you guys next week, Monday and Tuesday. And let me know if there's anything that you want for me to cover on that side. I definitely will. Just leave a comment on that part of the section. Peace. Game story and everything else going to follow. I'll put that in for this. Sebastian says, what a game. Best Astros Rangers games ever this year. A good both teams' history. Both Texas and Houston are good at the same time. Yeah, they really are, Sebastian. That's going to be a lot of fun on that side. I know Jammer was saying it's the Astros division, and it's going to be good. We'll see what's going to happen on OT says, see you Monday. Thanks again. Yeah, again, as always, let me know in the community section if you guys want me to cover something else. And between the MLB TV package, I'll definitely do that. And if there's any hot topics or any teams to define, we'll definitely do so. We're going to keep this rolling again next week as we'll get into hockey and basketball in the coming months. My next thing outside of doing these is the NHL beta. That's going to be next month around this time. I think the sign-up window for PS5, Series X, PS4, and Xbox One will be, I think, at the end of the weekend, so I'll let everybody know. Talk to you guys then.
We are always in motion.